All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sweet. So we have a couple more people popping in. Thomas is in game chat one, but he should be popping up here. And then Farragut. Okay, are you watching the stream on YouTube? I just don't want to double stream on Discord and YouTube.
No, I'm not. I can though.
Yeah, if you want to pop on that so I can explain.
All right, I'm watching.
Sweet. Well, we'll just start since there's a couple people. Apologies if you hear my kid in the background. I just barely put him down to sleep.
No,
I have
I
his
don't hear anything.
monitor on. Neat. Okay. Well, it's on stream, so if people want to watch it later, they can. So this is the version, it says 1.0, but it's probably 0.9 of the, hold on, let me make sure I'm not on stream delay. I'm pretty sure I'm on a 30-second delay. No. Okay. Well, it's just slightly delayed, but I'm sure you guys can deal with that. So
Yeah,
this is
I've
the,
muted your stream so I don't have to listen to you twice.
oh, smart. Yeah, so this is the generic outline for how the campaign map will look. Right now, at least for the first campaign, we're doing a pretty much dead even. It's the exact same layout, amount of spaces between home planets, between planets being relative to each other. It's a mirror essentially on both sides. So that way we know it's fully even and we can work and playtest any of those awesome things for combat. Excuse me, man. Let me take a drink for combat. It may slightly switch up between now and next week. But at least for now, this is the quote-unquote playtest we'll use for tonight. So I don't have what we'll be doing if we get enough people in chat. Oh, there's Thomas.
Hello.
If we get enough people from the campaign devs in chat, we can do a full run. If not, we'll just do a mock run. With these. These aren't our final spaceships. I'm going to be screenshotting some other ones. Thomas, do you want to log in with your Roll20 account so I can assign you a player?
Sure, give me a sec.
And so, from my perspective,
So I'm guessing it's that one.
sorry, what's up?
Do I just launch the game or launch as player?
Yeah, so don't log in as the GM. If you have a
Oh,
separate
whoops.
account, log in as yourself. And then you'll be able to see, and I can assign these all to you. So I need to assign this to, oh, there's no more players yet. I need to assign Alliance Commander and OSP Commander to each other, because then once I start placing fleets down, you'll then have movement points across this entire map. And then you'll be able to see how that, I want you to see from their perspective. And I'll probably real quick use my personal account so you guys can see. I'll need to exit out and then rejoin. I need to go get access to it. There we go. Now I have access to it. So I load into the game. I don't have anything right now since I have not been given a character, but now that I'm in, I just go swap to GM. And give myself a roll. And you guys can see what it looks like from this perspective. So we will call this controlled by that. This represents the Alliance Commander. So we're going to save settings because they should have the generic. Yes, save settings. So right now this is the GM perspective, so it sees the whole map. However, we will go exit the game and we will sign out, log back in, and launch. And now, of course, I say voila, and then we can't see it. I'm going to turn that to names only, drag that over, yes. Of course, there's always technical difficulties. We had the same thing happen this past Wednesday, Thursday when we tested. I'm just a goober and learning this for the first time. Have you ever used Roll20 before?
No.
Gerds?
No, I haven't.
It's fairly simple. However, I mess up crap pretty easy. This is assigned to.
I do not have access to your game.
Did you click on the link in the admin chat? If you log into your own personal profile, then click that link, then it'll work.
Ah, that's probably the issue. I was logging in with your one thinking it was the only.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's make sure the players are on this one. They currently are. Great. Oh, because is that a map object? No, that's a movable object and token. And the Alliance Commander Let's see, players. I just played with this Wednesday, so. Oh, here we go, edit. This one is Hunter W, perfect. So we're going to save that.
Oh, I need to mute you in Roll20. I didn't know it had VC.
Oh yeah, I gotta mute you and myself. How the heck do I do that?
Bottom left corner. I just pressed the microphone. If you hover over your name.
Yeah, I turn adjust to names only. Oh, none. I'm gonna save. Can you hear me now?
Let me check.
You're not hearing double?
I'm still hearing double. But if I just turn your volume down on that, it should be fine.
Okay, I just turned you all the way down. Perfect. Okay. So now we have the Alliance Commander. That should be me, so I will be popping that in, and then we have come on, paste. There we go. We'll call this OSP Commander. Represents the OSP Commander. Save settings. Now, Journal OSP Commander. This is controlled by Thomas B. Perfect.
Could I be Alliance? I don't want to be Rebel Scum.
Too late. I already did it. Just for this
example.
Now I'm going to join in so you guys can see. Okay, well that, I should not be seeing the whole map. I just had the same thing yesterday. So for now, we'll deal with that in a sec. Oh wait, did I join as Killsmith? No, I'm as Hunter. I've been outed.
Oh no.
Nice. Okay, turning that back off. I wonder if it's the sun. I think it's the sun that's causing too much light. Oh no, I turned it on daylight mode for a screenshot. All right. Don't worry, this is why we're doing this playtest right here, so we can work out these kings beforehand. So I guess while it's on, before I turn that off. So there's planets, which are POIs. Here, 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 here. This is a moon. These can't scale any smaller. Otherwise, I would have scaled them smaller. But these are corresponding moons of, so this is the planet Credo Nova, and this is Credo Moon. And then once you're in game, you can hover over these tiles and see the specific tooltip right there, which is how much income they produce per turn. Asteroids, I believe right now we decided asteroids cannot be, do not act as resupply, but they do act as income. So you'd have to build your own supply depots out here if you were to capture these regions. Each region will have a AI NPC garrison. So whether it's a planet, whether it's a moon, this is, for example, this is a supply station. So this is what you guys will be using, because you'll probably be much more zoomed in the actual tabletop. But that is the supply station. So whenever you plop them down, that's what it'll look like as well. This is a mining station. Looks a little bit different, but different enough. So that way you guys have a decent amount of things to cap. Again, I'll move the planets and stuff around for the actual final campaign so no one gets kind of a cheating view of it. But this is the generic layout. Any questions so far?
Now we wait.
There's a delay. Okay, let me see if I can turn off that delay. There is no. Not on OBS side. Let's see if on a YouTube side there is a delay. Nope, no delay. It's just a generic about 10-second delay. Okay, roughly. Okay, no worries, Gerds. So no one else in chat then has any
All right,
questions?
I just caught up with the stream. No, makes sense.
Cool. So it's about what, 20 seconds, 30 seconds behind?
Yeah, it's like 30.
Okay, apologies. Maybe I will double stream. I guess I don't need super high vis. I'll stream to okay, that might be easier. It's running a freaking picture, so I shouldn't have any delays. I don't need frame drop. I don't care about frame drops. Is that better, Gerds?
Yeah, it's a lot better. Thanks.
Okay, cool. So anyway, supply stations, mining stations, all will have randomized garrisons that will then you'll have to fight in a skirmish. We're working on a possible auto resolve, or we're going to be playing an extra like 30 minutes on campaign nights, so that, for example, if you were to move out from your homeworld this turn, and your fleet can move, let's go on objects and tokens, 1, 2, 3, and then want to capture a station the next turn, but then say the OSP is just moving out into open space, we then have an impasse of where the OS or alliance for turn 2 has combat, but the OSP has no combat. So we have to decide, do we want to auto resolve, or do you want to just pause, do a quick fight, and then come back to the campaign? So it's currently up in the air on what exactly is going to happen, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to figure it out as we get there, because some people might be okay waiting for it, and everyone might go and spectate the combat. We also might have some of the OSP people that are on standby stand in for the enemies, so that way they're still engaged. So both of those are options that at the time will just be dealt with. Supply station. Okay, so now that we got the map, let's turn off daylight
So
mode.
does that mean that uncontrolled stations and hubs, planets, whatever, are they garrisoned by pirates that we have to fight, or do you just capture them
A
instantly?
mix of NPC factions, yeah. So some might be pirates,
Okay.
some might be the independent planet of Credo Nova, where they have 3 ships in orbit. It's up to the GM. And then
Makes
let's
sense.
see. Now this should work because yes, okay. So the sun emits bright light, and we see roughly where these are at. However, myself as a alliance, I don't see anything, any fleets or anything like that. I just see the generic map background. So myself as a alliance commander, I know for my first turn, that I get 3 moves. So this is my home world right here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then currently I see, okay, cool. There's that here, that here. Did I explore the map? Is that why I can see it? Because technically we want to hide the rest of this. Actually, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world because, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world for now. Because you're going to have screenshots of the map pasted anyways, so that's totally fine if you see the objects. Anyways, so once you go and land on the planet, you win it. You then, apologies, have to switch back and forth. However, it's well worth it.
Well, while you're switching, it's okay if people know the rough layout of the system. I mean, they're spacefaring factions. They have telescopes.
Yeah. So let's go to map and background. Yeah. So for example, this we will say controlled by Hunter W because I am the faction commander for the Alliance. And then because, oops, let's go back. Because the Alliance commander captured this, now we will then say, okay, he controls that. And then let's go up and just say they capped this station. So now they will see a loop around those areas that are captured based on the sensors. Currently, we're assuming that I didn't do that right. But currently, we're assuming that sensors are immediately captured on combat conquest. So previously we had discussed, having to pay to set up long-range sensors and having the, ability to purchase, short-range sensors, long-range sensors, and whatnot. But okay, Thomas, tell me, can you see those planets that I gave you on yours? Thomas?
Which planets?
So no.
I see around the OSP commander.
Okay. Do you see around that home planet I just gave it to you?
No, I see the center of the sun.
Oh, I see. This is why Holland represents character OSP commander. Save settings. Now you should see around your homeworld.
Yes, A1?
Yes.
Is that?
And now you see around G7.
I don't see a G7.
The planet around G7.
No.
You do not see that. How about C15? I'm going to turn that to you. Save settings. Do you see around C15 now?
No.
No stations.
I don't see anything apart from the sun and OSP commander. And briefly that planet.
Let me make sure you are assigned OSP commander. Yep, that is you.
Do I have to refresh?
Try refreshing. That might help.
No, nothing's changed.
Let's map and background objects and tokens. You are controlled by the OSP commander. Map and background. OSP commander, controlled by OSP commander. let's just go. Oh, that's why it overwrote. Okay, now do you see the supply station? On C15.
No. Do you want me to share my screen?
Yes, because we got it working on the last one. So let me see your screen. See, this is a good thing we're doing a playtest. Thomas B. Save settings. Maybe if I refresh, then you refresh. Weird, because it's definitely showing on my end what they see. I don't know, we had James. James and I got it working.
Is it because of limited permissions my end, or?
That is a good question. Let us look under the settings under the OSP commander. Well, that seems like a simple fix that'll probably change in a quick doozy down the road once I watch a YouTube video and it tells me I'm an idiot. So the biggest thing is resources. So we're going to have an Excel sheet that roughly looks like this. Thomas, you have it, but Gerds, you have not seen it. This is the test game sheet. So it'll look a little more polished than this, where you'll have an Alliance Treasury total, an OSP Treasury total, Alliance upkeep per turn. So if you have, say, 3 supply stations that can provide, resupply to your ships, I think we decided 200 per turn, maybe 300 per turn. So we'll say they have 2 and they have 1. So then that's going to be running against your current income, depending on how many planets you control, as well as supply stations you control, which are causing a negative income, and then any raids on any background supply stations.
Okay.
So and then from here, this is going to be the if you ever want to be an admiral or the faction commander, you'll want to have, we'll give you a template that's similar to this, where the first fleet. So this will be the first for this will be me, you, and Thomas. We'll say so task group. So there's delete that. So yours is Task Force Ash, mine is Vet Swarm, and Thomas is a light cruiser. So then the Task Force Ash has 3 destroyers and then 1 E-War Corvette. Mine will just say, Vet 1, and then go down the line, Vet 2, Vet 3, Vet 4, Vet 5, Vet 6, and then he will have CL, CL, CH, or is it CA, right, for Armored Cruiser, for example. And then what you'll also have, so if you're just a player, all you'll be doing is setting your slowest ship speed. So you'll give this to your admiral. You'll say, here's my 3 ships, 4 ships, 5 ships. Here's my slowest speed. Then the admiral takes this info, pastes that into one of these charts, and then once the admiral's done, he gives this to the faction commander, who gives it to the GM. Just simple copy paste, and then we paste it into the big one, our own grand sheet, and say, okay, cool. He has this many ships. He has this many ships. He has this many ships. And then we can easily get a running total of your assets. So you have $34,000 points in ships out at this given time. The OSP has 39,000. This number will not be shared. It's just for GMs and faction commanders to reference for just generic planning. So they might say, I have 34,000 in fleets right now. I have 17,000 in the treasury. I can afford to build up, to give each fleet another 2,000 points to divvy out. And then, there's 3 fleets out there, so that's another 6,000. So they're up to now 40,000. So it just gives a faction commander kind of a running total of what they got. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. And this simple breakdown, it sounds harder than it is, but it's just everyone gives a little piece of information, and then that gives the GM a lot of information, which is useful to the faction commanders and the GM, because then they can say, hey, the first fleet, needs assistance. Let's give Rail BB under the command of James. We'll attach him to the first fleet instead of the second fleet, and the second fleet can then race off and do X mission. So it'll be a lot of behind the scenes stuff that will be getting done. So if you're a regular player, all you'll see is, if we go to the brand shiny new campaign information, so down here we have campaign information. There's campaign events. All you'll see is this. So if you're just a player, all you care about is this, and we will have the campaign events once every evening's campaigns are finished. So we'll say, just for example, every Tuesday and Thursday we do the tabletop, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday we do skirmishes to resolve the combats based on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Thursday campaign combat. So then all they'll have to do is look out for the events on a certain day, click yes, no, or maybe, and then each admiral will then say, okay, I have Killsmith, Thomas, and Rainey here. Surge was supposed to be the 4th in our fleet, so he can't show up. So I'm going to get someone else to use his fleet template this coming Wednesday because he can't make it that Wednesday to the fight. And then we'll say, okay, cool, Girds, you're going to use Surge's fleet on Wednesday because you can make it. And that way you'll be his backup fighter. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. And that way, if you're just a player, all you have to do is look at this, say whether you can or can't go, and then admirals and everyone higher up will coordinate with other people on who can take over the fleets. And then, if you can't make it, all you'll have to do is just say, hey, copy the fleet, send it to, Surge, or upload
As,
it in the Alliance campaign, coordination, and then they'll use that for the future. Sorry, what were you going to say?
as far as picking a backup player for stand-in, um, you know, what exactly is there to prevent me from accidentally picking somebody that's in the OSP if I'm trying to pick somebody from the Alliance, or what if what's there to prevent me from just let's say pick the best player that I know plays the game and then throw them into the slot?
So we're going to be having, and hopefully enough Alliance. Let's see what the voting's up to. 7 and 8 players, which there was 25 that recently reacted, and there's 63 people total on the server. So I'm assuming we'll get at least a 10-on-10 match, which will mean that most fights will be, I think, 3v3, 4v4, maybe some 5v5s. So hopefully you'll have enough of a pool of your Alliance friends where you can just, say in Alliance chat, hey, I need someone to cover my fight Wednesday. in #campaign events who can help, or you DM your admiral, or you at your admiral, whoever that is, at the time, and say, Admiral Robin, I need someone to cover me. Can you help? And then you two will figure out among the alliance who does that. So currently, since the voting, I turned off the auto roll. These roles will be assigned manually so that people can't peek into the other chat. So
Mhm.
Sorry for interrupting, but I gotta go AFK for like 10 minutes.
no worries. I don't know where everyone is, so we might not even actually do a full playtest. We'll just do a rule breakdown to everyone. Anyway, so this will be a lot cleaner with some auto tallies. So as long as we get this info, and you can probably even, we'll do something like ship and then point cost. So ship point, ship point, ship point. So we'll say DD 457, and then this will be DD, 402. And then that way we'll go get a running total of all the ships in your task forces, auto add them up. So then we'll say, okay, the first fleet is using 4,300 points. The second fleet is using 6,800 points. The third fleet is using 2,000, and the fourth fleet is using 10,000. So then it's another quick snapshot. So if you're ever going to be a faction commander, you can say, cool, which fleets need assistance. Because then when the admiral of the first fleet says, hey, I lost 3,000 points, you can say, oh crap, he only had 6,000 to begin with, that's half his force, versus the fourth fleet who has 10,000 points and they lost 3,000. It's not as drastic to reinforce them immediately. So it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff if you want to get involved. Which are you wanting to be any sort of like leadership or just kind of play?
No, I signed up for leadership.
Cool. So yeah, we'll definitely have you be messing with the stuff behind the scenes, which is fun for me. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in groups like this, but I really enjoy the behind the scenes stuff because then you kind of get it's tactical strategy.
The only thing that I like to roll back to and beat the dead horse a little bit more about grabbing somebody to fill in for someone. Let's just say, I mean, I know he's not in this Discord and campaign right now, but let's
Mhm.
just say High Score was in the alliance. He was part of my team. I had to go. What just stops me from being like, High Score, you're gonna play my fight. We're gonna win this regardless, because I know you're absolutely beast at this game.
There's
I could
nothing.
just I could just pick the best person.
And so what we're going to be doing when we split the teams um, is hopefully getting a feel for making sure that each team does have a couple good people. Because even though, there's that caveat in the voting section, we may ask you to switch sides for balance, which may include numerical balance, but it also might be like, hey, OSP has all veterans and Alliance has all people that started playing this week. Um, so let's pull one or two from OSP and swap for this campaign. So we'll make sure we keep an eye on that, but if there's one person that's really, really, really good, then hopefully there's another person on the other team that balances it out.
Okay.
But again, per battle, we can't guarantee anything. But when it comes to generic OSP versus Alliance, we're going to balance it out the best we can. So
Sounds good.
yeah. Um, yes, let's get to the turn sequence. So James came up with this. It's great, and I'll have it at least on stream. And this isn't as clean as the opening video that I envisioned, which I'll probably make another one later with actual um, movements and stuff. But we'll just briefly go over this, and then I'll share this in the Discord as well if it's not already there. Have you seen this before? Did we show it to you in the Discord?
East and I went through it a couple days ago.
You did. Okay, I'll briefly go through it for the stream then, so you'll know what's what's what. Yeah, it's already in there. So I don't know how many people have actually seen it. So when we say income distributed, this is going to be the GM doing this in the Excel sheet. And then what the faction leaders will be doing is they'll have their own faction sheet and keeping a running total as well. And so they'll say, okay, the GM will say, Alliance, you make 900 this turn. OSP, you're at 1550, or you had 1550. And they probably don't want to announce publicly what each has. So we'll just, or even what the income is actually. So maybe it's a DM. Maybe they say, you get your income this turn. And then we'll put a private message in the Alliance chat that says, you should be at 17,400. OSP, you should be at 13,500. They say, great. Reinforce resupply and faction commander direction. So easy enough there. If you needed, if your fleet was on pause near a resupply station, I was right here. I said, hey, cool, I capped this station. I sat here for one turn. Now I'm back up. We're going to use this as your supply. So I was at 2 out of 3 supply. But now this turn I refreshed. Now I'm back up to 3 out of 3 supply. I'm good to move out and start engaging other fleets. Or if you at a resupply station, what you can also do is request new ships. So if you lost 2,000 points of ships in that battle, you have to wait a full turn for new ships to be requisitioned from the homeworld and get flown in and then join your fleet and then head out with you again. Movement orders is in the next turn. Easy enough. We'll be probably breezing through the first couple of those in the first night of the campaign. Then movement resolution, because it's simultaneous movement. The Alliance commander will say, hey, I want to move the fleet on X36 to V32. And then the OSP commander will, if he's over here engaging, at the same time, he'll say, hey, I want to move from D27 or U27 to V32, and then they both plop on the same one simultaneously, and then we have a fight. That way, it's not one person, gets an advantage because Alliance took their turn first, so now they're within spotting range, and they can then, decide the engagement. It's simultaneous, so that it's safest that way and fairest. Then sensors and spotting. We'll go down to that in a little bit. Combat bonus moves. If you want to burn one of your supply to make an extra movement, that's also a definite possibility. And then from there, we plan out the skirmish battles for the coming week. And then if on, say it's Tuesday, we did that, we planned it out. Now it's Thursday, we come back. We make sure the combat resolution is updated. The Alliance updates their fleets, says, hey, we lost the second DD with 400 points and this heavy cruiser. So then you delete those from your fleet. Then they update it on their side, send it to us, and then we all know. And now their total tonnage will go down to 38,500, and so on and so forth. So if this is too much, again, this is all mainly on the GM side. Have you any interest in being a GM down the road or no?
Probably not.
Okay, no worries. It's a special kind of person to keep track of all this stuff. So faction commander will have quote unquote the most work to do. However, it's really not. All you're doing is asking the admirals to get their stuff, and then all the admiral does is say, hey, Girds, fill out this one line on an Excel spreadsheet based on, while looking at your fleet, and then send it to me. So really, again, it looks like a lot. It's just not, but it's broken into smaller pieces, person to person. Yeah, the very first at the game start, which will hopefully be early next week, where I'm going to talk with the rest of the campaign devs and admins this week. We'll shoot for a specific day. This will be the important one where we, reveal the actual final board. I'll be posting it in each of your chats so you guys can see a snapshot of the whole board with the hexes and make your plans from there. We'll give starting points distributed to the faction commanders. Oops. And then from there, faction commanders will talk with their admirals and divvy up the points to fleets and then coordinate which players are in which fleet and what task group they're going to be over and how many points they get. Then we take time to build their fleet. We'll probably be doing this actually. I think now that I'm saying this, James and I, oh, there you are, James, hi, talked about doing this beforehand. So that way, by the time the game night comes around, then it's all ready to go. So it gives you guys several days to coordinate this. And then, creating game pieces. And then we kick it off and just to do like we said with those turns. So, James, I don't know how much you missed, but I'm still playing around with the settings because trying to give them their planets didn't work like it did last time. So I got to crunch some stuff and figure out why that is. But everything else is working out pretty well. Gerds understands it, and I'm doing it on stream so that those that want to watch it can see a choppy, crappy version of the how-to, and then we'll make a cleaner one later for everyone that shows up. Other than that, again, we're cleaning that up. Any other questions then, Gerds, for the campaign?
Yeah, earlier you mentioned, building ships from the homeworld, sending them to the front. Did we? I know we talked about where we were going to build ships, stations versus the planet. Did we finally decide that ships have to be built at the homeworld and moved to the front, or are ships still being built at whatever supply station you have?
So they're being lore-wise, they're either being built at the homeworld or being built off-screen and flown into the sector. Because for the Alliance and OSP lore, there's I think a couple dozen. They each have a couple dozen planets each.
Yep.
And so, the Alliance capital sector may not even be here where they're building all the ships. So for our lore, we're having them being brought in either from the homeworld or off screen. It's up to your imagination right now. But essentially, they're being brought in. They're not being built at this station. They're being brought in and rendezvousing at that station a turn later.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Anything to add, James, now that you popped in?
No.
Cool. And then we did decide, again, asteroids for now are not going to be resupply points. However, moons, planets, bigger celestial objects like that will act as resupply and income. Supply stations are only resupply and negative income. Point of interest like a mining station will act as a planet where it provides income. No, I apologize. Something like a mining station will provide income but no supply. So we have all three options. We have something that does both resupply and money, resupply and no money, and money and no resupply. That way we have kind of one of each here in the playfield and see how it works for the first campaign. But yeah, that's it. It should be fairly simple and straightforward, with a lot of fun on the back end, which is really what we were hoping for. Planning out fleets and planning out leaders and who gets what. Yes, go for it.
So I got two of them. I'll just shoot one at a time.
Mhm.
Well, I just forgot one of them, so I guess I'll go for the other one.
No worries.
Faction commanders, can they have a fleet or a task force, I should say, on the field so that they can brawl it out?
Yes, I would say that's probably the most beneficial, so that they have fun as well. For sure.
If I remember. Oh wait, yes, I remember the other one. Is the tabletop map going to represent what the sort of in-game map and game mode represent. So, if we're fighting in an asteroid on the tabletop map, that's where we're fighting on the game mode. If we meet in the middle of dead space on the tabletop, we're fighting in, the void and the campaign. If we're capturing a station on the tabletop, we're playing station capture in game, or is that not related at all?
Yes, for sure. The only exception would be planets, because I know there's only a handful of planet maps. So for those, we might say you're fighting in the asteroid belt around the planet Forbodulon Secundus, but other than that, it should be true to the map. Yes.
That's good to know because there's a lot of open space. So a lot of the battles might be.
Exactly.
That's a different strategy.
Exactly. That's why I threw a couple of these random asteroid belts in there so that there's more opportunities for that. And I'm sure, again, like I said, the planets will probably be a mix of asteroid belts as well as, I think there's one Mars map, right?
There's a Mars and an Earth map currently.
Yeah, so we might use those on occasion. But for,
Maybe for the home worlds for special occasions.
yeah, exactly, something like that. I know asteroids are mainly the fun part of maneuvering around them and using them as like hiding and stuff. So I assume it'll be a lot of asteroid combat, but sensor or space stations, and then because you can build resupply points. So if the Alliance commander and his fleet moves up here or way up here and says it's dead space, I'm gonna build a supply station here, and then the OSP comes in. They'll then fight over the station. Um, and then we'll do special circumstances too, like we'll announce an event in the world saying scientists at an asteroid station on sector L34 are requesting assistance, kind of like that war game. You have to capture point A and C and hold it for 10, 5 minutes, whatever. You have 4 turns to get there. So then, or they need help in 4 turns. So then the alliance they might get there first, but the event doesn't start for 4 turns, so the OSP might be able to get there in time, kind of a thing. Um, so that's where we'll use point control and not just annihilation on every map too, hopefully, because we want to make sure it uses all of Nebulous's game modes.
Mm-hmm. So just based off of space itself, I'm thinking that at least 80% of the battles are going to be open space, unless you're dedicating your fleets away from open space to avoid that game style of gameplay in game, because open space maps are they're a love-hate relationship.
hmm And for that, what I'll probably also do is like say you're fighting over sector L32. Technically, the asteroid field is in L34, but there's stray asteroids around it. So we'll probably do anything within and around the hex is considered to be part of, um, that specific thing, um, including
Okay,
resupply stations. That way, it keeps it a
that
little bit
helps out
more
a lot.
friendly. Yeah, so it's not just open space. And for the final map, I might even add more celestial objects in as well.
Well, there is a map I can test out since you're just talking about space stations. It's a singular large space station out in open space. It looked interesting. I haven't tested it yet, but
Oh,
I can look into
nice.
that.
Awesome. And then there's that new ice one that looks really cool too. That just came out with a new update. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. So that's awesome. Yeah, anything you can test. We're gonna have a mods channel where we paste all the links to the mods we're using. So feel free to test out as many as you want and let us know. Any other questions, comments, concerns, anything that you can see can be abused? Um, One thing that can be abused, actually, I'll address now is, um, and why I only give the faction commanders access to the tabletop is because um, technically you can drag your tile however much you want. I guess in Roll20's main thing, it's built on player honesty, because like it's more of like a Dungeons and Dragons for close friends. So your close friend who's not going to be a dick and just drive his thing all the way across the map. So we're going to be making sure that only a couple people have access to it, um, so that they can make the moves themselves, or even under the supervision of a GM every time. That way they can't like fly over here, peek at OSP, and then pop their ship back over. So,
Oh, a way to prevent that, and I know it would add more back end, is to document your moves, even in a simple text channel. So if you're at A1, you just say, fleet commander starts at A1, moves to B4 or whatever, and just type that in and it's there.
Yeah, we're going to be having a submission channel for each alliance in OSP. That's a very good point. I need to set up that channel. Thank you for reminding me. James had brought that up as a really good way for submitting moves. So that way there's an official thing for that as well. So that's a very good point. That way, if you want, if you guys are doing planning on Sunday night and there's no events going on, but that's when most of you can get together, you guys can say, hey, I want to move this fleet here, and then here the next turn, this here, and then this here, and kind of plan it like you would chess, and then submit your moves for the coming turn, and then maybe have your own reserve doc of the following moves, and a master map of all the plans you want to do. So good point. Good point. I will add those in now. Anything else you can think of off the bat that could be cheesed?
One thing I was just going to mention there, Gerd's put together a pretty good rundown of his thoughts on the maps. I think we should definitely take a look at that to decide which ones are, I don't think they necessarily all need to be balanced, but which ones we want to maybe feature more heavily. The other thing I'd say with regards to representing the tabletop terrain against what map, it might be a good idea to still have sort of some kind of random chance what map you end up on. But maybe, if it's in the environment of a planet or an asteroid, you just weight that a bit more heavily. So we have whatever maps we decide are suitable. And then you just, roll a dice or something to decide which terrain you're going to actually end up fighting on.
There
But,
we go.
if it,
Smart.
yeah, but if you're on like an asteroid one, then maybe, 5 of the 7 maps that you could possibly play on are asteroid ones. And whereas if you're out in space, maybe, 5 of the 6 are abyssal or something like that. But there's still that chance you might end up in an asteroid. So that way it keeps people from just trying to fully exploit what area they're in.
Good point. I like that.
I like that a lot because you could make a fleet specifically tailored to a certain map and just hope and strategically plan fighting in certain areas.
Yeah, and I think we want to encourage that to a degree, but we need to limit it a little bit so it's not just the only strategy.
Can't counter it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think having some weighting of what you can expect to fight on is good, but maybe it's sort of in game. You were intending to fight on the asteroids, but because of the fleet dispositions, you got pulled out of your plans. So now you got to figure out how to use that fleet in the open space just by the dice roll there. So I think that's one way we could look at it. The other thing I'll say is we'll need to just kind of go through and sketch out what of open space, which are the maps that it could potentially be, and what are the chances that you'll end up actually fighting in open space, and similarly for the other tile types. But I think that's probably like a 10-15 minute look at the list of maps we're going to use and just deciding quickly what the weighting makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Strategist? Nothing.
I literally just popped in here, so I have very little context right now.
Since strategist is here, we might be able to play test.
And I'm back from my powdering of the nose.
Goddess Iris says, I think documenting moves is a very good idea. Cool. I created those channels. So that should be good to go. So faction commanders will be able to turn those in. If you guys want to do a quick play test, what I'll need to do is fix the lighting. Because James, I'm not sure, I don't think you saw it, but I assigned these planets to myself and or Thomas. However, they're not popping up as visible. When we go actually into it, like Thomas, you still can't see the planets I've given to you, correct?
I'll check now. I see OSP Commander.
Nope, nothing, no planets though, or like no planets light up like a light bulb.
Oh,
which
share
it
my
does.
current screen. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah, this is what I see. Just ignore the tabs.
Yep. All right. So
My volume appears to be broken. I can't hear anything. Didn't
yeah,
suck.
I'm going to go to the old game. And
Am I in the right games?
Yes, you are. But I'm gonna go to the old game and see how we did it, because we had it working on this version 0.1. I just want to see how we did that. James, okay. And then test. Wait a sec, I think that was how we did it. We added a station on, or a token on top of that. That was baked into the map. Okay. So let's try this then for you, Thomas 1.0.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Things again.
Okay, so yeah, what we'll need to do then is let's plop down a, just for this example, plop down a station, and we'll say this is, oh, wait a second. Why is it pulling game names from? Oh, I'm a doofus, that's why. Here we go. Okay, do you see that station now then?
Yes.
There we go, that was the issue. So now I place that over whatever planet you want to stream your, actually I'll plop it on stream so that everyone else can see now as well. That's how we did it. We added it on top. We'll say this is controlled by, boom, save settings. So now, after you capture a planet or POI, you'll have sensors on it, and we'll make a little base icon will plop down, yeah. So now the Alliance captured that station. They now have permanent eyes covering those sectors, and it'll probably be a little bit more of a sensor than more than just two. But now they'll have permanent eyes, so they can spawn incoming fleets this way. Cool, that's how we do that. And then again, this is your supply per turn. Oh yeah, your name. That's what it was. So the bottom name right there is going to be how large your fleet is. And let me explain that. So it's going to be a range. I believe we'll do a dice roll to figure out if it's plus or minus. But essentially, this is going to say 1K to 4K. So like a 3 or 4, let's say 5. Let's do something bigger, more realistic. So 2K to 6K. Was it 3? Or was it 3, James, or was it 2?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Sorry for the point range. Was it 4,000 or 3,000 of a range? So like 2,000 to 6,000 for how big the fleet is? Or
I
was
thought
it
it was
like,
based on the size of the fleet.
oh, it was 30%, plus or minus 30%. You are correct, sir. So say the fleet is 5,000, you would roll the dice and have the option of 30% higher or lower. Otherwise, if it was even, everyone would just go right in the middle and be like, okay, this is a 4,000 fleet. So it's based on 30% and then flip a coin or roll a dice, whether it's plus or minus. So this could be a 2,000 fleet with a high dice roll going up, or it could be like a 5,000 fleet with a dice roll going down, correct? So when Thomas runs up and sees this fleet over here, his will say 3K to 5K, or we'll do 4K to 7K. And we have 2K to 6K and 4K to 7K. So based on the dice rolls, he comes at the edge of of my sensor range, and then I say, okay, 4K to 7K. He's anywhere in that range, possibly the top, possibly the bottom, possibly in the middle. You have to figure out if you want to then engage that fleet or run away. Does that sound about right? I think he's half there, but that's fine. Yeah, so that's roughly how it'll be. With that, who else do we got in chat now or in
Farragut
Discord?
showed up.
Farragut, Gerds, Last Strategist, and Thomas. Okay. So let me turn off. Well, he has that, I have that, and we still need a GM. So yeah, any of you that just showed up, I don't know how much you've caught. The entire stream is on YouTube. We walked through the steps of how to do it. Since we're now an hour past, I don't know if we want to start a playtest. What do you guys think?
I got time. I'm good for one.
I'm down for whatever.
I'm down to attempt, but I do have to do a little quick catch up. Creating a Roll20 account right now.
Okay, most you guys shouldn't have to make for these purposes a Roll20 account. We'll be using Thomas and I because we'll roleplay as the faction commanders, or maybe James might pop in. So we will need, yeah, I guess, if you want to make one, because in the future one of you guys will be faction commanders. So I'll just transfer that over to whoever joins up.
Or one of the viewers potentially. Ooh.
Ooh, one of the viewers, yeah. Win/man's down in the game chat. Should we just drag him up here?
Who? Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Are you alive, Win/man?
I am dead.
You are
I would.
Damn it.
not again.
Third time this week.
Smith, if we have to watch your stream, can you put it to source?
On Discord? I'm
Yeah.
going to be turning off the Discord stream so that because if we're gonna be playing it, I want to give away the GM overview. So I'll just trust you guys turn off your YouTube as well. So James, what do you think? Do you have time for initial playthrough, or are you going to bed?
Well, no, I think we should play through it if we got the people here.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I'm down.
Hey.
I would just say that the one thing that we want to do is generate some opportunities for the player fleets to mix it up, because we didn't really get a chance to get to that last time we did a run through.
Okay. Do you want to start then, like midway through the campaign? A couple turns
Well, I was
in?
Yeah, I was gonna say like one spot on the map that you had there might be good is start them equal distant from one of those 3 asteroid clusters.
Mm,
And we'll just say that like, just whatever starting point they're on, you can just plop a marker there and that'll be their home world for the purpose of supply line generation or whatever. That way we can just get them to sort of mix it up and see how it works when you got two people trying to do WeGo turns and outmaneuver each other on the campaign map. So
okay, so we'll avoid the Excel sheet stuff for now, since that's more coordinating with the whole team on the background.
yeah, like we just give them like the kind of fleets that we had built there before. You have, you know, 4 task groups each in one fleet. A couple that are faster and a couple that are sort of 2 hex movement. And let them go at it and see how it works
Sweet.
out.
Yeah, I will actually pass off real quick. So we'll split into two. Let's see, we got Farragut Girds, Last Strategist, Wind/Man. So that'll be a good 2-on-2. Unless Thomas, do you want to join a side, or do you want to oversee for now?
I'll just oversee.
Okay, so me, you, and James will oversee. So Farragut Girds, and anyone have preference on Alliance or OSP for this quick
I'll go
overview?
Alliance.
Nope.
Glory to the Alliance.
Okay, so Girds and Strategist are Alliance, Farragut and Wind/Man will be OSP. So before we split up, let me give you the excuse me. Let me give you a sheet to work with. So this will be just small, but it'll be important. You'll be going over, let's say, 2 fleets, 1 fleet per person, that they'll pretend to be admirals. Yeah.
So like four task groups per human player we have here.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So I will go back to streaming real quick so you guys can see. Sorry. I'll do better text readability.
So we are supposed to look at what you're streaming?
On Discord right now.
Okay.
So on Discord, I'll be sending you guys this sheet to fill out as an example. So it'll have fleet and then task group, and then you'll have ship name and then point value associated with it. Sorry, make sure I get it right. Yeah. So fleet name, task group. So this will be, for example, Girds, Thomas, Rainey for the first fleet. And then the second fleet will have, oh, this is organized terribly. I'm going to make sure this looks good first, because that's important to me.
Gotta give us all the pretty background colors and such.
Gotta change the font, get the fancy font going.
Exactly.
Yeah, Wingdings font is the best.
Where's my tie-dye? Oh god.
There we go. I do a lot of Excel sheets for work, and I like to make them look pretty. So, fleet and task groups. So, first fleet. And then again, we'll go underneath that is going to be Gerds, and who is the other alliance person?
Strategist. Or last, whichever you prefer.
And then we'll pretend that you have Rainy. Who else is someone in the group? Me. And then for the second fleet, you're going to have, let's see who else is in the group. You're going to have Mazer. And JD, who else is in the group? I'm just pulling names out of nowhere. They're not shared already, or the Roll20 link. Not yet, because I haven't finalized it. Very good. Just try to respond to your question. Warmind.
Thanks.
And Morningwood. So these are your two fleets, and then each task group is over as a person. So what you would do as an admiral is you would DM Gerds, and you would say, for example, let me put Windsor 1 to the left, and this would be how many points they have. Whoops, let's put that up here. So Gerds would say, I have a DD worth 408, and then I have a Corvette. What's the Corvette symbol?
It's a FFL.
FFL. FML? Just kidding. And this will be
That is the mood of a Corvette.
205. Anyway, so what he'll do is have this, and then at the end, we will have a total points, which will be a simple sum of, whoops, let's do it here.
I will say, in terms of if you're trying to get a quick summary of the chart, I feel like the total points would actually maybe be better next to in the very first column next to the player name, the task group's names.
Yeah, so it'll be copied back
Yeah,
over
if you move the
here.
column back over there, yeah.
That's a good point, because then it leaves us open for more ships, because
they're gonna have different ship
2,
numbers.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How often do you have more than 7? Is that often?
You can have a maximum of 10 for Corvette swarms. Well,
Okay.
for anything, the maximum whole amount is 10.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
if they're
10.
empty.
I'm gonna have 10 battleships.
I wouldn't put it past the OSP to try such shenanigans.
So we will do, this is going to equal the sum of all
That would be wise.
Boom. And then we're going to copy that down to here. Perfect. And then this will give us and spit out equals the sum of all of these. So then you can see, this will be the Alliance fleet overview, for example. And then you'll split out and you'll have a total point system. So, you can say, hey, first fleet, you're allotted 3,000. So the first fleet admiral will have, this same dock, or maybe the whole faction will share this dock. Anyways, so you guys understand how that works. Your ship, your point, your ship, your point.
Yeah.
So all you have to do as an admiral is message Gerds and say, hey, tell me, send me this info, or don't have the admiral have to dig through and open Nebulous to look at their fleet. You do it. So then you send that to your admiral, So he gets that all from these, all 4 of these people. So then his info is inputted. Now the commander can have a much better overview of what everything looks like based on that. So I will share this doc right now. No, I don't want to share. I want to download and give you guys your own copy, right? Because it's per.
Each faction should probably have their own, but then they both need to be
Yes.
shared with the master GM.
Yes.
What you should do is you should create a template. Like in the long run, there should be a template that each faction is sent to fill out.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to download this then, because downloading's better. Because we already have. I'm going to pretty this one up. So you guys will fill this out and then send it to the GM.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to put this. I'm going to upload each one to Alliance campaign. And OSP campaign, and then pin it. Actually, I don't need to pin it because you guys will probably have your own Google Drive version of this that you guys can all edit, I'm assuming then, yeah. So, and then I'll put one also in looking for skirmish just for now. So that way, when we break off into the pairs, just go through and make up pretend fleets. Don't take too long. We'll give you an allotment, and you guys can make 2 fleets. Each, make up who's on your team, doesn't really matter. And then you can get your running totals. Let me make sure.
We're all doing this, or
So 2 of you are doing this for now. Let me see real quick.
Can I just make a suggestion for the purpose of the playtest here?
Yeah, should we just skip this?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, what's in the fleets doesn't really matter as much as just give the same amount of points for the 2 teams, and then you just split it up between 8 task groups in 2 fleets. And then just keep in mind that you should have some that are at, hex movement speed, 3 or 4, and then some that are at 2. And we just let it up to them to figure out how they want to allocate the points in that. Because the idea here is just to get them moving on the campaign map and thinking about how to position their forces that'll cause the tactical battles. It doesn't really matter what's in the fleet right now. If we need to keep the game moving forward, we'll just do like simple dice rolls like we did before to abstract the skirmishes, so we can keep the tabletop running.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're just testing. If we're just testing tabletop, then we probably don't need fleet comps.
No, like I just said, you need to split up the points, so you're allocating points, and we can test the sensors part. Abstracting how big the fleets are and seeing you guys make different decisions based on what they are. What's actually in them doesn't matter, other than we need to know what the campaign
total
movement
point.
is.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just pick a total
Let's
point
go with
count
probably
and
like a
split it
like a
up.
3.5 for Alliance or a 3.0 for OSP or something. I don't know, something like that.
Well, no. So
Something slightly asymmetric at least.
no. So what we'll
I'm
do is we'll
yeah,
give you. Go for it, James. Yeah, we're on the same page.
yeah, you guys get like whatever 10K, 20K. The number actually doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of you guys taking it and splitting it up into 8 pieces, whatever way you decide to, and try to keep them, not like 500 points. They should be somewhere, plus or minus 1,000 points from 3,000. But you can split it up other than that to surprise your enemy, and then just decide whether it's going to be, faster forces or slower forces. So the speed should range between probably 2 hexes and 4. The majority will be 2 or 3 though. Is that clear?
And so yeah, you'll want to keep some in reserve as a faction commander because you don't want to put all your points out on the board and then have nothing to build supply stations and do reinforcements. So have you guys, okay, let me get an invite link to the game. So we're gonna have James, we were gonna have the GMs make the movements or the faction commanders make the movements on the tabletop. after
I think
submitting their turns.
they have to submit the turns, and then the GM plays it out.
Cool. Okay. So Thomas and I will play. Actually, James, do you want to join? I'll send the link is in the admin chat.
Yeah, as like the GM login for Roll20.
No, just the invite. So you're a player. So then I can GM as the
Yeah.
GM, and you and Thomas will be the faction commander GMs.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you can James can stream for the Alliance chat what his tabletop looks like, and Thomas can stream for the OSP chat what the tabletop looks like. Is that making sense to everyone so far?
Yep.
See.
So yeah, just get familiar with those docs. Yeah, for now, if you want to start taking notes, just use the skirmish wargame chats and just, I don't know, don't look at the other person's. It's literally a playtest, so just, I don't want to reassign you to your secret alliance and OSP chats yet, so just use Wargame Alliance, Wargame OSP to coordinate your fleet talking. So Last Strategist and Girds, Wargame Alliance, Wind/Man, Farragut. You'll do Wargame OSP. And then to hop into those VCs, you guys will all get, I'll post in there how much you guys get.
All right.
Are we doing 2 fleets of 4 task groups each on 12K?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they'll be a bit smaller task groups.
Yeah, because that'll be 3 people each. I figure that's 4, right?
Yeah.
No, I'll do more. We can up to 15. Is that enough for 4?
Well, no, I don't think it really matters because we're just splitting the points up. I just want to make sure we're doing still the same number of fleets.
Yeah, just 2 fleets. Yeah.
2 fleets, 4 task groups each, so 8 task groups total.
Let's less than 2K minimum each. Yeah, so let's just add another 14K. That's enough, right? No, my math is bad. 4 times 4 is 16,000 points. That gives you 8 total, 2,000 points each with no room for reserves, so 20,000. That leaves you 2,000 points each fleet plus 4,000 reserves. Let's do that. That's more realistic.
Okay, so 20K starting points. They need to have 8 fleets. They should be somewhere around 2,000 points each on average, and the rest of the points held in reserve.
Yes.
Okay. Task groups that will be split between 2 fleets.
Did you say 8 task groups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 task groups make up 1 fleet. So 1 fleet is 4 task groups, and then 2
Yep.
fleets, 4 task groups. And then one of those will be under GER.
Okay, guys, we're just going to do non-stop battleships. The 2 fleets, 20k, that's 10 battleships per fleet. Trust
Okay.
me, I've made 1k battleships before. They don't have anything in them apart from engines, but it would be a good scare tactic.
Well, I got a less than 2k battleship with 5 rail barrels. I can just do how many of those? Well, that's 10 of them.
What's the difference between a task group and a fleet?
Task group is like the full team. So
No.
the 4 players.
The
Oh,
fleet
okay.
is a full 4 players. A task group is the equivalent of the player fleet in game. So there's the Farragut task group, the Win/Man task group, and the Thomas task group. All 3 of you comprise the OSP first fleet. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so
you can fictitiously make up to 8 task groups for up to 2 fleets.
Correct.
So
in a full SmackDown would be 2 4v4 battles.
Correct. At this time, I think we're just for the playtest, we're maxing it out at 4 players per fleet. We will probably increase that in the real game, but yeah.
Especially since there's now bigger maps.
Exactly.
So, I am sorry, but I wasn't going to be able to get on until 8. So, what is the stuff for like macro? Like, are there points we can put into supply stations to boost eco or something?
Sorry, I was getting a drink. Yes. So you want to hold some points in reserve strategically wise for supply stations. So you'll be able to build those, and what those will do is you spend, I think we said about, just for this playtest, 2,000 up front, and then it's about 300 per turn, 200 per turn upkeep. So there's 3 types of points of interest. There's planets and moons. We'll call them celestial objects, which give you resupply, and they give you an income per turn. So it's 2 positives. Then there are supply stations, which give you a resupply but cost money per turn. And then there are mining and trade stations, which give you resources per turn but no resupply. You can only build supply stations. But then from there, at those supply stations, you get a passive ammo regeneration, or if you want to purchase new ships to refill your fleet or your task force, you then buy, 2 ships, for example, and you spend those points, and then the next turn those ships arrive in system after they've been requisitioned from out of system.
So how is like point income per turn managed?
On an Excel sheet, which I mentioned earlier, but it's in the stream, but that's a whole separate sheet. For now, you can type on the sheet I gave you guys, or you can just type in chat and keep track. But it'll be organized for the campaign. Each faction commander will have a master Excel sheet, which has all the info on it, and then the GMs will have a master sheet with both factions' info on it. But for now, just keep, they want to, write on the Excel sheet I gave you separately, temporarily, or just in chat, keep a running total.
So is the stream in here not should we switch over to the Excel sheet in Thomas's stream then?
Let me look at Thomas's stream.
Sneaky.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm assuming so. So this is what mine will look like as the GM. I haven't updated it since our last playtest, so I'm not going to show you anything that's going to be, this is from the last playtest, so none of the numbers work. So if you see this, there's the GM will have the Alliance Treasury total, OSP Treasury total, Alliance upkeep per turn, and then OSP upkeep per turn, total number of ship assets, OSP ship assets, number of planets versus their income, So for example, this planet, they have, I think at the time they had 2 planets that provided the 900 income. They had 0, we'll just say if they had 1 supply station, it would be negative 200. There's 1 of them. And then they're currently rating, a supply lane in the rear, netting them a positive 250, which would then give them a total of that per turn. Make sense?
Yeah.
So then OSP does the same thing, and then every turn, so yeah, that's the total number of that. It's not really as useful as that number.
And these dollars are converted and basically,
Points.
yeah, okay.
Straight across the points. So yeah, this is, I can, download this.
I'm sorry, I lost the stream window and I'm not sure where it went. Okay, so so you're saying that there's something like 900 points that OSP or whatever is currently making, and then after upkeep, it's like 200 points per round.
Sorry, say that again.
I was trying to learn from listening because I'm not sure exactly what happened to the stream window on my computer, but you said that there was like 900 points, and then fleet upkeep would lead to something like 200 points per round of income.
Correct. So for this playtest, there is no fleet upkeep per turn. All you will have is, for the example I gave from last playtest, the Alliance had 2 planets. The total of those 2 planets' points per turn income was 900. They also had built 1 supply station, which was a negative 200 points per turn, and they were also raiding 1 OSP supply station in the rear, which netted them 250 points per turn. So adding up all those together was a net 950 plus per turn.
So the supply station would allow you to refill your missile reserves and stuff?
Correct. So yeah, so you have 3 attack points for any fleet. So once you run out of those, you can only defend. You can no longer go on the offensive on the campaign map. So once you're at 0 out of 3 ammo reserves, you have to go back to a supply station, wait 1 turn, and then your ships are filled back up full of ammo. And the supply stations not only just give you ammo, they also act as a permanent spotting station, and you can pull up full ships from reserves, and they'll meet you at that supply station.
Okay, so if OSP bought like a new cruiser, they could show up at any supply station?
Yep, I believe it's 1 turn right now. We may bump that up to 2, but as of right now, you buy it. Next turn, it's hyperspaced up to your supply station. Yeah.
Fun.
So yeah, it's a trade-off. And then planets, if you capture a planet, that provides income and resources, and you can pull ships up to there. So it's like a, win-win.
All right, I think that answers some of my questions. I guess for now, I just want to talk to Thomas about how much supply stations costs and how to use our 20K.
Sure. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my coffee.
I'll be popping between each chat just to see if anyone has questions and hear what you guys are talking about, so don't mind me.
Okay.
So what would you guys like to
in the fleet editor, so we're just kind of coming up with them. But the way that it generally works is that if you go to the closest 10 meters, and if you end on 1 to 5, then you round down, or sorry, 1 to 4 you round down, and 5 to 9 you round up. So if something's 23 meters, that's 2 hexes. If it's 25 meters a second, it's 3 hexes. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
So like a Whiplash Corvette's like 42 meters a second, then it's 4 hexes.
Okay. Let me open your stream again. Look at my thing.
Isn't a
Okay,
Whiplash
what are your secrets?
nothing?
Yeah, I think it's Whiplash is 42. At least that one's what I have.
42.
I thought it was 46.
No, so I
It's
think
42 basic, but when you flank it, it gets faster.
Yeah, and it's based on your basic top speed, not your flank. So I think that means you're 4 there for that one, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at my Corvette real quick.
Yeah, no,
I'm
go to
curious.
town. I'm pretty sure it's 42 because like my Whiplash ones are, but maybe.
Okay, so for the ones, those are both 4s then.
Ones or 4s.
Yeah, 1s are 4s.
Yeah. And then
for
your 2s.
So remind me, 3 is what again? 3 is if it starts in 30, right?
So 3 would be anything from 25 meters a second to 34 meters a second.
Okay, so it's the 3 and 2 then.
3 and 2.
3 and 2.
Okay, good. Some good mixes. Okay, and then so that means we have 6,000 points spent on each, which is 12 out of 20, so we have 8K points remaining.
Awesome. Okay. So supply stations cost 2,000 points up front and 200 per turn for playtest.
Is that what?
That's what Kill just sent in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just gonna read this turn sequence thing that was attached to that real quick.
And let's see here. Kill, are you listening in?
Sorry, yeah, I'm popping back and forth just to listen on
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, so we're good. We have our 2 task groups, or sorry, 2 fleets set up. I just need to know the login for the game board.
Yeah, so if you go to the admin chat and then scroll up, there's a link you can click if you're logged into your James account.
I'm appreciating my multiple screens so much right now.
I know, I love doing.
Yeah, I have multiple screens. My only problem is that between multiple screens and multiple tabs, I very quickly overload my brain with the ability to handle them. So
it's like, wait, where's that tab? Where did I leave the tab?
I've been talking and on mute. What was the last thing you heard from me?
I'm not sure. I asked you.
We heard you were listening in.
Yeah.
Okay,
I asked
sorry.
you for the login. I didn't hear anything after that.
Sorry, I've been talking. Yeah, if you go to the admin chat and scroll up to the link, as long as you're logged into James and click on that link. No, that meant VC.
That's the VC. That's the VC.
No, admin chat, not admin VC.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you go to admin chat, you'll see the link I posted.
Yeah.
Click on that. As long as you're logged in as James, it'll open you to the campaign.
Okay.
You were right.
And your stream needs to be brought back up again.
Cool. And I see you in. I will assign you what was once my test person, because you guys are Alliance, right?
Yep, yeah. Alliance.
Okay. Alliance Commander, that is played by James. Save changes.
We'll get income first.
You got control and you see the homeworld, James, yeah?
Yeah, I can see the sun, a couple of stations. around like the moon and the red planet,
Perfect. Yep, that's what you should be seeing.
and then there's a
Um,
single fleet there.
Yeah, if you want to move your fleet to those planets, just right in between the moon and the planet, that'll be your starting one.
Can you give us more tokens there for the task groups?
Yep, I will copy and paste.
Yeah, if you give me, I think, can we stack these?
Yep. So you can
If
have
you
as
can
many
give,
as you want.
yeah, if you can give me 4 of them, right? Because we're only going to go down to
2 minimum players.
2 minimum. Yeah.
Yep. I will go tell the other team that as well.
Or to the planet and the moon first turn.
Okay,
That would be a
Thomas.
decent first turn. What do you guys think?
I think it's too expensive to send that high amount of points for scout fleets.
I feel like 3K would be enough, depending on.
Well,
oh shit!
Like, we're
Real
not
quick to
getting into
interject
combat.
one thing real quick, just to note, the smallest you can ever split a fleet of players into is 2 players. You can't split a fleet down to 1 player. So there always has to be 2 task groups in a fleet. Just a note. So I gave you 4 fleet tokens on the screen. I'll adjust their points as you go, but you can stack them or delete one, I believe. If you want to just have like just 2 fleets, or if you want to have 3 fleets that have a mix of, other players, whatever. Just so you're aware.
I mean, thank you, Killsmith. I was just thinking, like, if we're going to have 2 or 3 players in a fleet, and if it's a 2K fleet, that's only 1,000 points per player, per task group. So I'm trying to think of, like, how to make sure that the players have enough so that we can actually have, like, a cruiser that has guns on it.
Or we're trying to actually get combat-ready fleets, not just a scouting and colonizing fleet?
Well, like that simulated combat we did last week was a scouting fleet.
For this, yes, for this specific test, this is kind of very beginning light fleets. So you'll be getting income per turn. I'll be posting that. It'll probably just be static for the time beings, but you'll have a static income per turn, so you can then increase the points on each fleets as you go. But yeah, essentially it's very light just because of the points we picked. We didn't want to overcomplicate it. So in the real game, you'll have much more points to roll with.
Does that make, like, I'm just trying to think of, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm trying to give each of the task groups enough points that then it's not just like having an unarmed corvette and an unarmed frigate with, whiplash, and that's it.
Oh, okay, wait. So, Tim, sorry, there's a lot of stuff. So
So I built it so you should have 2,000 per task group plus 4,000 extra. So it's plus or minus. So if, let's just say, for example, you have Farragut and Wind/Man, you guys are buddies, okay? You always want to play skirmishes together, but Wind/Man's really good at E-War, so at the very beginning, he has, 2 E-War corvettes and 1 missile frigate, and then Farragut's like, hey, I'll get, you get 1,500 Wind/Man, I get 2,500. We'll split it that way. Again, this is just literally spitballing numbers right now for this play test. I can bump it up if you guys want, if you guys think it'll be more realistic planning.
Yeah, I'm not saying like 4,000 for a whole fleet per task group. I'm saying if we make a 4,000 point fleet, that's only 2,000 per player if it's a 2 task group.
okay.
It's going to be a heavy fleet. Like, that's not a lot of.
I see.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was getting confused because I thought the task group. I was getting confused, I guess, with task group and fleet. So these icons are fleets, not task groups. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, it'll take a while to get back to the naming, but a task group is a player. A fleet is a group of players. So right now, the tokens represent the max amount of fleets you can have with the amount of players you have. Does that make sense? So if you only want 2, I can remove 2 of those tokens and then split more down the road if you ever want to split it up. Or you can stack them on top of each other. Just that was for your reference. I can always remove them. I think Thomas, can you delete them?
I can't delete the grey ships, I believe.
Okay, so I can delete the ships then. So how many tasks or how many fleets do you want?
I think what we were all agreeing is what like cheap small fleets and as many as possible to try to boom. So if we do 4K fleets,
so how many groups of players?
So
each of those ships represents a group of players.
Yes. So if we made 4 2-task group fleets, that would use all of our task groups initially. And if we made them real light, so high speed, mandatory, and like only 4K points each, that would be what, 1,600 points?
16,000, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, 16,000
out of 20,000. Yeah.
Yes, and so that would still give us some points to handle repairs after our initial taking of the first 2 or 3 planets, and then the other 2 fleets would run out towards the space stations and other planets.
Yeah, and
I'll pop out
then
for a sec.
we then after that.
Hey, what's up?
I can see the other side's units on the map there. I'm not sure, something's gone wonky, but
Oh, yep, it copied the wrong ones. Okay, good catch, good catch.
yeah, it's I just have ownership of their tokens or something. Is that what happened?
Yeah, so I the copy and paste on Roll20 is not great. It's hit or miss. So I
So do
copied.
I need to
Nope.
do I need to regenerate those tokens, or can you switch them?
No, I deleted. So you should still have your 4 by you. I'm now giving
New ones to them. Okay.
New ones to them. Yeah.
Yeah, Roger. And then you can reset the fog of war for us.
Yes, I believe that is a setting. Reset permanent darkness. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see. I'm going to click this button. Does that reset your fog of war?
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, cool.
We could try and pose as the neutral faction, potentially. We could be like, oh, we're not the OSP. No. We're space fishermen. Yes. Yes, we've come for refuge against those bastards, the OSP.
And then we
Then we start raiding their only starting areas and trying to attack one of their ships. Because even though the fleet we're sending is a throwaway, it's still going to buy us a bit more time. And the more time we have to develop our economy, the more we can tickle them. While if they're sorting out burning stations and what have you.
If they do a combat with a fleet, can they move to also in that turn or something?
I'm not.
Because I don't know if it would delay. So if we use a fleet, we send it towards the enemy. They engage with it. Are they being reduced? So do they get any reduction in movement for the turn, or is it like they
no
move
reduction
to
in movement? But it's simultaneous moves though. So you will both submit your orders to me, and then I will move. Or sorry, you'll submit yours to Thomas, for example, for now, and then James, because technically they shouldn't be. They're not on your side. They are your assigned game master. So you submit your turns to them. I think right now they're kind of playing both, but if this was a real game, you would submit your moves to them. Then they would move your fleets at the same time. And then you would, if you landed on the same hex, then you would be engaging. Otherwise, if you land next to each other, you just see each other.
Okay.
So is everyone okay with just making 4 light fleets?
Of interest for it yet.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah. So we could only see like the sun right now, their kill. So before we had the shared visibility on like the points of interest. So we'll need that so the players can know what direction they're heading in here from the get go.
Oh, everything is now dark. We are not able to see the text that we type.
I just moved you guys around a bit. Do you guys see more of the POIs?
Yep.
I don't see
no.
POIs.
What happened was the screen's gone kind of like a grayscale. The same parts that were illuminated, just they're not in color now. But I'm only seeing our light around our units.
And what are you wanting to see?
Well, you know, before when we set up the map, we had like all the different places that could be captured were visible by both sides at like a 1 hex range. They know what to head towards. Otherwise, it's just bang around the closet here.
Yes. Yep. So let me move this around.
Oh, that's a massive.
You see that now?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we can see like the asteroids, yeah, and that's what both of us are heading for, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
So that I'm assuming that the bright color area is where we have active visibility, and the darker colored is that we have to move there to actually tell what players are in the area.
Yeah, all we can see is like what's on the map there, not like
Got it.
items.
Yeah, just making sure. Fog of War.
Yeah.
A quick question about engagement and combat, which I'm sure we'll figure out while doing it. But let's say like there was a fleet adjacent to us on whatever that is that T42. If there's a fleet at T42, it can only engage that one fleet on the planet, correct? No, and it won't drag in the other 3 task force.
So the way that we have it right now is that there is a
I feel.
Until we can get more, because profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh crikey! Everything's changed.
What happened to our map?
Oh, by the way,
I had to reset the fog of war because I accidentally gave the wrong tokens.
Oh, I like
earlier.
the new fog of war because it's harder to see the bomb
That's
pit
how
now.
it should look in campaign.
Yep.
And then what you guys will have in your chats is a full map, so you'll technically know what it is, but you'll have to rediscover exactly where it's at again. But you'll have a screenshotted map in your alliance chats.
Very nice. Yeah, I say we send 1 fleet up to that corner just to get like point income, and then
there is one thing I've noticed with the fog of war there. Are you watching at the moment?
Yeah, you could clear it out. Yeah.
Oh, it resets after a while.
Yeah, but you can also just cheat. A lot of this is honor rolls, I feel.
I think right now it is, yeah.
Yes, that's stupid.
Correct, it is, yeah.
There is a way to make it where you
regen?
can't do that.
Because it reset us a moment ago.
Regenning after a reset, yeah. So what would it take for us to submit that first turn if we know what we're going to do? You know what I mean?
You tell Thomas, and then Thomas posts in Wargame OSP what his turn is.
So has that happened yet?
We can't tell him what we want to do.
I thought we did.
We still need to make the ships.
You don't need to do the individual ships, just the point totals per player group / fleet.
Okay, and what are the minimums we have to do for points for fleet? Was it 2,000?
No minimum. You could make a
No
500
minimum?
fleet. There needs to be 2 players minimum per fleet. So 2 task groups minimum per fleet.
So that's really easy on points than if we just wanted
over an audio and video.
Yeah.
That's music. Others can. I can hear a C. Wait, I can hear a C and then none.
No, can still hear Thomas.
No, now after you clicked that, if we're good now. Because now I can see Thomas is trying to speak. Never mind.
Okay, I'm gonna just jump down.
Yeah, just tell Thomas to turn off audio. That's hilarious. Also, you're muted right now if you didn't know.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Just like
that is like you can't
background.
cannot silence Thomas.
Yeah, I'm not a fan that Roll20 has that in-game communication, and it's really hard to turn it off.
Especially considering that almost everybody who'd be using it would just use Discord anyways.
Yeah.
Are we safe? Are we free from molestation?
Yeah, he just muted himself at least there. And Roll20 just rebooted for me for some reason. Yeah, okay. So, as I was saying, I think what we want to do is establish local resupply pretty quickly up there.
We can't see anything. You're not streaming.
Yeah, we can't see anything right now.
Oh, sorry, I didn't come back to stream. Sorry. Yes.
1,000.
Hello.
Hello again. General Kenobi.
Does that sound good, Win/Man?
That's fine. I would do it lower than that, but I'm fine with that.
All right, and then what do they just show up next turn?
Thomas,
or
can you change the nameplate on your ships or no?
No, let me check.
When you double click, do you have name and nameplate option?
I have name, but no nameplate. But it changes the name on the board, so I'm guessing that's it.
Yes,
because
so
I now have
name is
Linda.
the number of points that each fleet is. So what you'll do is plus or minus 30%. So if your fleet is 3,000, then you have an option to go plus or minus 1,000. So you can say it's 3,000. Well, that's a bad example. Let's say 6,000. You have 2,000, so you can say plus or minus 6,000. So you could say it's 6,000 to 8,000, 5,000 to 7,000, or 4,000 to 6,000.
Are we having permanent send damage? Did we figure out how to do that?
There's no permanent damage. Permanent ammo, which is demonstrated by the one, the like 3. So yeah, Thomas, real quick, if you look at, let me stream to you real quick. Excuse me. I'll try not to give away.
But ships we do destroy, and I'm guessing ammo that is used is permanent.
Oh, cranky!
Is that correct?
So look at my screen. So Thomas, if you double click this, you can change the name.
Why is your map so bright? Jeez.
Because I'm the GM, unfortunately. So change that name to like a range. Like I said, if the fleet is 2K, you can go 1K to 3K, or 1K to something like that. Or if the fleet is 6K, you can go 4 to 6, or 6 to 8, or 5 to 7. So plus or minus 30%. However you want to do that, I would recommend alternating it. So you can change that. You can also change these bar values. So blue bar, if you just single click, select on your thing, that is going to be your ammo. So currently it's 3 out of 3 for all your fleets. This is how fast it moves, I believe. And then green is something, hold on. But I'm assuming you see those, right? When you single click, you can see those 3 bubbles.
Blue is filled, green and red are empty.
So you can change those.
You type something, then you press enter.
Yep. So red is how many tiles you can move, so the speed of the fleet. green is let me ask James, but red is the speed. I know for sure.
Doesn't really make a difference.
Quick
The speed's the only
question,
thing that matters
James.
right now. And the point value. Yep.
So blue is the ammo, red is the speed. What's the green bubble?
I'm just using that so we can identify our fleets, keep track of who they are. So I just have last task
Okay.
group 1 and then last task group 2 because we
Okay.
haven't done the dice rolls for their actual strength yet, and that doesn't really tell us anything anyway. So
Okay, cool.
yeah. So I'm just using that to keep track of it for us.
Okay, that's why I just wanted to make sure that wasn't anything important because I don't remember that, but I'm just
No,
letting
I
Thomas
just
know.
so.
Perfect.
A couple raiding
so
fleets and a couple super cheap fleets. So we had some like 1,000 point fleets, and then I think some like 4,000 point fleets.
Okay.
So blue is your ammo, and red is your fleet speed. Green is nothing right now.
Okay. If we destroy ships, are they removed from the fleet, and therefore also lowering the points of the fleet?
Yeah, we'll just do some simple dice roll stuff for now, but it'll reduce the overall points of the fleet for this this example.
Okay. What was the threshold for the 4 hex types, Kel? Do you remember?
Say again.
What was the MS threshold for each of the 4 tile movements?
So if it's like 22, you round down 2 hexes. If it's 25, you round up to 3. So it's the slowest ship in your task group. So
Oh, I know
simulated.
that. But I'm saying, like, what is the
What are the speeds?
Yeah.
Is 16, 25, 40?
I think you can say whatever you want, honestly, depending on what's in the fleet. I mean, I think 2 or 3 right now is probably your most realistic. You don't want to go over the top, so I'd say pick 2 or 3.
So we can't have 4 movement speed fleets for scouting?
Normally, yes, but well, yeah, we'll try 4 for now. You can do it. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So
Yeah, just want to make some scouting corvettes to get an idea.
I will probably have to go to sleep soon because it's like 2 a.m. here.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
no worries. We'll try to get a couple turns in first.
So what? I mean, if
we can have the cheap
where's
running
Thomas?
fleets bouncing around, making sure that we're our
Hey,
side
hey
is
guys,
developed.
I'm back from the intel raid.
What's up, Killsmith and Killsmith?
Thomas. Oh, nice. You need to put point. No, that's. Hold on. Who are you guys, OSB?
We're OSB.
Okay. Cool. I'm talking to the wrong person. I thought you guys were Alliance.
Me, it does
What's
matter.
up, guys?
So.
Okay.
Now it's the real Killsmith. It's not the spy.
What's up?
I was popping to them. I thought they were you. Okay, so you're good to move your moves then, James, since you are the assigned GM over them.
Okay, but just keep in mind that, once we get in close, we need the GM who's got the God's Eye view to resolve the results of movement. We're not going to run into anybody on this turn, but, once we get closer, it's possible. We'll need the GM who sees both to do that.
Yes, correct. Also,
So-
you need your fleet points on your nameplate.
Oh.
You want us to pre-roll them? We haven't been spotted yet, right?
Yeah, but just have them pre and ready to
Okay,
go,
yeah,
right?
that's fine. We'll work on that.
Yeah. Just plus or minus 30%. You can choose.
Okay.
So if East was playing as the faction commander, he wouldn't be able to move any of the icons around on the tabletop?
No.
Okay.
And that's why we're putting in moves into the GM. That's
Gotcha.
your official move.
Are you doing that for any particular reason?
The reason for it is that the movement system with the sensors and spotting is Vigo. So basically both sides put in their desired orders, and the way they're resolved will depend on what's around them. So we could accidentally bump into a fleet if somebody was heading for these same hexes we're going to. But if you have the players moving it themselves, then they start seeing what's ahead of them before they'd actually run into it, and it doesn't work. So it's got to be the GM taking the orders and turning them into movement results.
Correct. So are your movements done for this turn?
No, only one piece is moved so far.
Okay, so you're good. Well, so yeah, so for this particular example, you and Thomas are the GMs assigned over them, but you're also working with them, so it's because we ran out of people. So your alliance, so L2 to R38, and then L1 to P40. P40 or R40?
P.
Where the heck is P? Oh, wait, hold on. Who are you guys? There's a P. I only see R's and S's. And T.
It's further up.
Oh, you can move
James
that
said it.
far. I was thinking super
Yeah.
close. Okay, that was
Move.
my bad.
It's a movement speed 4 fleet. It's the speedy boy.
Nice. Okay, so moves are submitted.
What about the G fleets? Oh wait, also that needs to. Yeah, the G fleets didn't move.
I'll resolve this one here, Kill. I'm just saying that once we get into, where fleets are running into each other, that's where the GM, who's got the God's Eye, has to resolve them. Otherwise, the whole thing's not going to work.
Yeah, because as long as you guys submit them in your war game chat, then we can move them, and then you'll say done.
But and are we just keeping that last fleet down there?
I'm just doing it
James?
right now, man. Just hold up.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to read this font.
Yeah, it's when they overlap, it's hard.
Smith, how
how
hard is it to change the back? Yeah, can you change the background font color to something that's not blue?
Yeah, just make it black.
Nah, I don't think black
Black's
would
not
work.
going to help.
Because it's not going to work on the dark background.
Well, then
it's got to be bright and vibrant.
Well, vibrant's gonna blend too with the stars.
Yellow. Well, yeah, but it's gonna blend
because
less.
the other problem is it's also
Red, yeah, maybe. No.
No,
Yeah, that
no.
works for me.
Nope.
No.
It's better, but it's not the best still. It's better though. It's an improvement because now the problem is I can't see it in the darkness.
I can read it now where I couldn't really before, so it's a bit of an improvement anyway.
Try
It just looks fuzzy. Maybe it's because it's a
dark
stream.
blue.
Ooh, okay, that's the best so far.
Yeah,
I feel like dark blue's pretty good.
Dark blue's the best I've seen.
We'll keep that for now, as if that's good enough for now. Okay. Movement is done. There is nothing to resolve, so you guys are good to go for next turn.
Okay.
So
Strategist, I'll let you put your input into East first, and then I'll go, so we're not talking over each other the entire time.
yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, you guys can just go into the alliance or the Wargame Alliance, and then just put in your movements there.
I don't know.
My only thing is I can't see outside of the darkness. You know, so like for my movement speed 4 fleet, I can't always see what hex that is that I want to move to.
You're going for around, let's say.
Oh, actually, wait. That's why I have this other picture. So like
M41,
like do you think?
Yeah, or N40.
So that's F26. Has the font changed? So that's going to be F26 to H24.
Yeah, is it possible to switch the font, Killsmith, or have it a different color than blue on a blue background?
So yeah, I was messing with that with the other guys. They said dark blue is the best so far.
I can't see a thing now.
It has to be like not the same spectrum.
How about like a piss yellow?
Let's try
anything.
How does yellow look?
yeah.
But
yeah,
then on the bright spots, it's bad. Let me talk to the other group, see if they like yellow.
Why don't we have an?
Do you guys like the yellow?
Yeah, that's an improvement.
Okay, because the other group didn't like blue. They said they couldn't see.
We like the yellow better.
I think
so
it
that's
really
the
depends
best.
on what area of the map you're on, because of the background colors vary. So it might be better to have just like a black background, just to keep that.
Cool. That's
more
probably
readable.
smart.
Or even just take this map and like desaturate the background a bit or something, so there's less color maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What I'm doing right now that's working is I've got the map, like the battle map that James is streaming, and then I've got the one you sent earlier where it's just the clear picture with no background color. And using those in conjunction seems to work the best right now.
Yeah. Okay, do we have the movements from Gerds there?
All right. Send that 3 fleet just just send it N36 is that on that asteroid. Yep. We'll lose a hex move, but
real quick, guys, just so you're aware, the main goal is to push down for this particular playtest. Why aren't your stuff snapping to? Why aren't they snapping into a hex? There's the 800 fleet is totally off.
Is it possible to increase the font size of the
hexes?
Yeah, and to have them over. Oh.
No.
Well, is it possible to have them overlaid over top of the ships rather than underneath?
It is not, because that is part of the map itself. However, if you use that in conjunction with the blank map I posted, that's what the other team is doing, and that's what you'll probably be doing for the main campaign.
Oh, one of my ships or fleets, whatever, is on top of a station. I don't think I own it. What can I do with it?
What station?
D36.
Yeah, we wanted to investigate that.
That is a abandoned mining station. So if you want to roll, what we can do is...
Oh, what type of dice?
d6. So you want to roll to see.
Haha, 2.
Okay. Well, before I do, I'll explain real quick, just for keep it simple. We'll do win or lose first, and then how much damage you took after that. I think. Let me see. Moves are in. Resolving combat. Okay, so let's all pop into. Let me pop into James real quick. One second, bear back.
Just
It's headcanon. It's Corvettes.
James. So they have run into a NPC fleet. How are we resolving combat? I was thinking something simple like.
Are we doing NPC fleets?
I guess I don't know. They ran into one. I told them to head towards you guys, but they wanted to explore a POI.
We can explore. You said.
Oh, so we can explore POIs.
So here, just
also
just,
means
so even with
one of them
combat,
is isolated.
Yeah, so even with combat though, are we just doing something simple like, roll, 1 to 3 you lose, 4 to 6 you win, and then you roll to see how many ships you lost or how many points you lost after that, or
Do the least punishing thing for now for the purposes of the playtest, I'd say.
I'd say dice roll. Otherwise, we're gonna be sitting here for another
we're
maybe
not gonna
half an hour.
we're not doing nebulous combat. I'm just saying, what's the best way to dice roll this?
I'd say I like your
James.
idea. Is 1 to 3 is you lose, or 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and then
Well,
What die are you rolling?
Just d6.
I just don't know why we're screwing around with NPCs right now. What we're trying to do is test the player-on-player combat.
Okay, well, either way for player combat. I'll
I would
tell
say
them
run them through this NPC, but I'd say definitely don't do another one after this.
Yeah,
I
I'll tell them
agree
not
with
to.
the subordinates of my grand alliance.
But yeah, East Coast, James. Obviously, just
Yes.
even if it's for player versus player combat dice rolling, we need to
Well,
resolve
we did
that
before.
somehow.
Yeah, for what we did before was the actual point strength. They get a dice per 1,000 points, and we just roll them, and the higher score wins.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I'll pop back then.
that's cool.
400 APM at bare minimum for
Okay,
pros.
let's wait
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, you don't have to be a pro to play. You just aren't going to play at that level.
Thomas, can I steal you, or were you talking to them?
Hmm?
Can I steal you, or were you talking to them?
Oh no, I was just outing the other East Coast as a filthy imposter.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna let you guys redo your other fleets because you're supposed to head down south. That was part of the playtest. So, I'm going to.
But we want a macro. Sorry.
Anyways, yeah. So, if you want to keep them in reserve, I'll allow you to move the leftmost fleet. We'll just say you lost 500 points, but you captured that station. So you lost 500 points, though, worth of ships on that attack. No, it's a small fleet. I'll say 300. You lost 300 points on that attacking fleet. The other one, you get, I would say move it to something like I-31, if that's chill with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move that to I-31. And then the other one can come catch up. Since it just capped that station, just mark its points down lower. And then, yeah, do your moves.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna put a. We're gonna try and do an arrow formation because I know something you don't know. Do that. Wait, is that gonna be a feature? Is the
Okay. All right, we are resolving moves right now. I fixed and set them straight.
Yay.
I'm trying to mess with my overlay because it is so much brighter. Dynamic lighting. Goodness, bud. Oh my gosh.
Smith's gonna be messing with the campaign map, and all of a sudden we're gonna see everyone.
It's like, oh hey, hi there.
GM overlay capacity. Yeah. Okay. So did you move them, James, or do you need, or am I moving them?
Well, I think it's probably safe for me to move them on this turn, but I'd
Okay.
say going after this one, we're probably going to need to start getting you to move the
All right.
resolutions there.
Yep.
And
I see your
if you
moves. L1 to M41.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that I1? Oh, that's I1 to M41.
Those are L's. Those are L's.
Those are L's. Okay.
the green circle notation, yeah.
RS. Where is QP? Okay, I'm dumb. Where the heck is the L? That seems like it's way
the
up
green
there.
circle. L1 to M41.
Oh, L1 is the name of the fleet. I was looking for the
Yes,
hex
the
cube.
first two
I
is
was looking for the
fleet
hex
name.
L1. Okay, I'm an idiot. I was like, you guys don't have any fleets up at L1.
Yeah.
Okay, I will
Fleets.
move it then. Okay, L1 to M41. Okay, this makes more sense now. I can make sense of your fleets. L2 to P38. And then we have G2 to N36. 34. 36. And then we have G1 to R30. Okay, let me see if
I
there's
see the
resolve.
OSP dogs.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right. So from now on, since we are in close quarters, I'll be making all the movements.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, we don't have access to anything.
All right, let me
we
just showing my screen.
So okay, so Thomas, yeah, no more moving. I'll be doing the moves. Just make sure when you submit them, and then I'll move them.
To be fair, they did the same.
You what?
They did the same as me, movement-wise.
Oh yes, no, I'm saying just from now on, I'll be moving them, just so that, and then yeah, I'll double check them with the other ones. So M35, M31, 33, 35. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure they
Where
show their
did these
points real
movements
quick.
come from?
Yours or theirs?
All of we didn't order movements to there.
I didn't touch your fleets. Thomas just did.
Oh, okay.
I guess. So yeah, make sure you put your moves
I don't
down
know how
first,
that.
and then I'll
I don't
move
know
them.
one fleet moved
I'm back over.
Look in chat.
Run whether or
Okay.
not. Okay. I'll let Kill speak.
Perfect. Yep. So movement is resolved. If you guys want to put your point counters on your nameplates of your ships, so that those can be revealed by sensors.
Does that say 39?
Yeah.
Wait,
It should be.
we have a 39?
No, it should just be three split.
No. But it's, you don't put the exact number, right?
Oh, we get to fudge it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
then
want
what
to do a
was
range?
So technically, that one was a 2. L1 was a 2K, but is that in sensor? Is L1 in the sensor range?
So you want to do a range like they have.
I can't actually see what there's a reporting. I just see
Yep.
that there's.
We can't actually see their range. We can only see the little gray icon.
Let me look at your stream real quick. Oh, okay. Can you click on them at all? On their token?
No, I can't.
Okay, let me see if I can see what I can see.
So, is the range supposed to be 30% below what you have and 30% above, or just 30? I'm not sure what the range, how that's set up yet. I don't know.
Well, once we get it
confused.
working, because right now you can't see anything, but you can choose. So you can choose 30% above or below. So like if your fleet is 6,000, you can choose 6,000 to 8,000 because it's 30% of, or you can do 4,000 to 6,000 or 5,000 to 7,000. So you have those options to kind of mask your thing.
I see.
So I guess at this point you'll just have to ask me what their range is. So let me see your stream.
We can see 3 fleets there.
Okay, so the fleet on, let me tell them the same thing real quick.
Crazy.
Okay, real quick.
Yes.
So the point values are not showing on the, or the nameplates aren't showing up. It's just a Roll20 thing I got to deal with. So I will
Yeah, I'm having the
go through
same
and
issue on my side.
I'll tell you what it is for now, just for this thing. So the fleet at that particular marker on N36 is 3,000 to 4,000. And then I'm going to go tell them what their sensor range sees.
Wait, could I go? Did they see the 2 rear ships, or did they only see the front?
They, I can't tell you that, but they see 2 hexes away.
Okay, and could I attack them, or no?
Stand by.
Is it? Yeah,
Okay,
it's UK, yeah.
so let me look at your ships real quick. So you can sense 3 of their fleets. The one closest to you on hex, what is that, M35?
Yeah, 35, I think.
Yeah, 35.
M35 is 800 to 1.3K. The one to its upper left is 3 to 5K. And the one to the upper right is a range of 3 to 5K.
What was the closest one?
800 to 1.3K.
Okay.
Range. So combat-wise, if one of you decides, well, you have to it's a simultaneous movement, so we'll see what happens. But I believe we drag in ships that are 1 tile away, correct, James?
They can choose to pile in. They don't have to.
Gotcha. Okay, let me let them know. Okay, so if you guys can hear me, no combat this turn because you're not occupying the same space. So you'll turn in your moves just like last time, and then I will be moving them and seeing what combat needs to be resolved. You have the option of bringing in a fleet that is 1 tile away from the combat, but you don't have to. Make sense?
Are we limited to only one neighboring fleet?
Nope, you can any ships within 1 tile range, or any fleets within 1 tile range have the option of coming in. But if you're gonna get if you're gonna get stomped, they can just
Sounds
not
good
get
to me.
involved. So sweet. Yep, just turn in your moves like last time now, plan them. And
Could I just say for them to pursue that ship in their current formation? Because it'll make things so much easier for you moving them.
You're just gonna move 1?
No, I meant like I'm going to move them in their current formation.
Yeah, you'll have to show the hex officially. We just want a good practice and to make sure in case there's any questions of like who did what or who thought what. So just don't move it quite.
So everything needs to
I'm
move.
only moving them to see what's underneath.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you can also use that map on your Alt tab as well.
Yeah. We were having trouble zooming on that photo from what we have in the chat.
Did you open original?
I don't know what that means.
So when you click on the preview in Discord, then click open original, it'll open up in an HTML and you can zoom in much more.
That would be very smart.
Okay, I'm gonna let them know the same thing.
Then don't do it, but if you move your L2 to N40, you can actually go into either of those.
And
hexes.
that counts as a supporting hex?
Yep.
If they attack
Okay,
us.
so yeah,
if they attack you guys, if you guys are going on a defensive footing, that kind of makes sense to go into a cluster like that because
yeah. So let's do N40 then. I like what you're saying.
I like that.
Okay, so then we're going G2 to N38.
Yep.
And L1 to M39. And L2 to N40.
I will also say, James, for the purposes of reading, maybe just turn on caps lock.
Oh, yeah. And then where is G1 going?
True. G1 probably should just move to support. What do you think?
Probably just move it up to P32.
P32,
Try to get close.
Because looking at the map, if they started where I think they started, their fourth fleet has
Is up at
fucked
that
off.
planet at the
Yeah,
H24.
their fourth fleet has fucked off and is not going to get anywhere near this combat.
Moves. Okay, so that was.
Or it's directly behind them and we don't see it.
Yeah, it could be, but based off of movement speed, unless it's a movement speed 4 fleet, it most likely will not be a contributor in this battle.
It could be a 1-speed battleship, which is all the way back at the homeworld still.
Well, my point is that I guess okay, slightly metagaming in terms of we know that they were fucking around at a station somewhere, and looking at where the stations are on the map.
Yeah,
we do know that there's no way that's a movement speed 1 fleet, so it's probably fucked off, and it's a movement speed 4 fucking around somewhere.
I'm just worried that we put less points on the field than they did.
Yeah, we'll see. They could have, because they could have fucked with us and fudged theirs lower.
Yeah, they could.
Well, it's entirely possible because when we discussed setting this up for the actual player playtest, I said, we don't know how well people are going to try to keep their forces alive. Like how easily they will withdraw, because right now everyone's just used to fighting to the death. So I said we should give guidance to the faction commanders to hold some in reserve to replace losses, so people don't just get wiped out in the first combat they get into and can't play. I don't know if he gave that direction to their team. Who knows? It's fine though. Like if you guys end up losing here, that's on me for not distributing the points. The idea is more to test the movement. So
my only other contribution so far, and this is not mainly as directly.
One thing to note as well is you guys have the option of construction as well under I believe it's the reinforced resupply.
I like it.
I think that's under sensors and spotting.
So why don't we develop the mining camp to give us some income, and then also build a space station so that we can spawn fleets on the side of the map that we care about?
Sure.
Let me ask them which if James has that info on at what part, if it's before or after movement.
Multiple task forces fighting for sure.
James, real quick, I don't see on the turn phase where construction is on the action phase.
Yeah, well, that wasn't anything that I was tasked with putting together, so it's not on there yet.
I see.
I would imagine just based on like what makes sense is it would probably go in that. Just let me pull up the document there. Whatever the first step is.
Under income distributed.
Yeah, like income distributed, it would make sense there.
Yeah,
that the faction
income
commander
and then
would
build.
Yeah.
And then movement after.
Yeah, the movement after. And then the next question is how long does it take to build like a supply station? So the fleets take at least a turn, or they take a turn currently, what we decided to get in. It probably makes sense for the stations to take at least that long, but we need to sort of figure out how long it is.
For this case, I would say if you build it at the beginning of one turn, it shows up at the beginning of the next turn.
Sure.
Cool.
I was going to say though, since you're building a station with the fleet, that fleet should not be able to like move away. It's currently busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disabled movement for that turn.
Good point. Good catch. All right, I'm gonna let him know. Okay, so it's going to be at the beginning of a turn. You're going to request where you want the supply station built. So that's before the movement. So you plop it down, but whatever fleet is doing that building, is locked down for that turn, so they can't move, and the station shows up the turn after you declare it's under construction.
Sounds good. So is it just 200 points to buy it and then 200 more every turn?
2,000 to buy it, and then 200 every turn to upkeep it.
And if we took that mining station, is that also giving us like supplies and income?
It technically no, because it's not for this small section of the playtest. I will give you just a little bonus of like 500 points just because you lost points on it. But yeah, for the playtest, it's not. It's only supposed to be that small asteroid sector we're dealing with right now. So that was my bad. I didn't relay that earlier. So I'll give you a bonus 500 points.
Got it. Hey, Windslash Man, I have an idea.
Okay.
An offensive supply station in those asteroids.
Guys, Akil is back.
Yeah, we got our moves
Just
in there, Kill.
Just listening. You got all your moves in?
What's that?
Okay, so all your moves are set. Moves. Okay, what does moves G2
Wait,
to
are we
stay
set?
mean?
Yeah, I think we're set.
Yeah, I was just checking. Yeah, it looks like right. Yeah, it looks like we said. Yeah, that's set.
So fleet G2 stays is what you're saying? It's not moving?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, I'll see if they're done with their movements, and we'll see.
The group.
It should be, yeah.
All right, you guys done with your movements?
Yeah, I think we're gonna move. What is it? D36 down 4 spaces to L or whatever 38, and then we want to build a supply station after this combat that we're doing.
Okay, so that will be next turn then, yeah.
So we're gonna want to resolve this combat first.
So construction is before any sort of movement or combat. It's the very beginning of the turn.
Yep. Yeah. So this turn we're just moving those 3 fleets in the asteroid belt to combat, and then we're moving that 1 fleet that raided the mining depot south 4 hexes.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the. I'll say starting the movement phase for both sides, so you guys can see. Okay, so this is going to L38 or L39. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many movement points does that fleet have?
4.
So D36 to H38. Okay. And then we have M35 to N36.
Yeah, we just wanted to move all 3 of those fleets into combat with that.
And then L34. So it's the same formation, just down 1, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let me do their moves now. Stand by.
Depending on their
So-
points.
All
yeah,
right,
we'll
I'm
have to
doing
see how
your
everything's
moves now.
lined up.
So we have L1 to M37. L1 to M37, that's just one to the left of it, yeah. Pull up the big map.
It's the one that they moved into there. It's to the left of M39.
I see
Yeah,
that,
that's a
yep.
direct conflict.
Direct combat there, and then we have L2 to
So would this
L2
be
to
one big combat
N38.
or 2 split ones?
Well, so the way that I have it written right now is that if you end up in the same hex as another force, you have to fight it, or you can choose to withdraw, but you can't pile into a different hex. That guy should be going to N38 there, Kill.
That's what I just, is that not N38?
No, it's to the hex sort of down.
Oh, to
And you
the
grabbed one of the
right.
enemy fleets there.
Yeah.
You have an enemy fleet that you moved below us.
Maybe
Oh,
that's where they
I
moved.
see. Nope,
Who
they
knows?
did not.
Was it this one? Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, G2 should be there, and
That's
then
right
the
there.
other one.
Okay.
Oh wait, how many enemy fleets are there? Do we have
3?
There's one underneath this
You
one.
wanted to
And there's
And
one
there's one.
underneath this one.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
So
that third one.
so the fleet that moved into this hex here, do we remember what point value that was? Was that the one
They
that was
were
800
all.
to 50?
They were. That was the one that we couldn't see.
No,
as
that
much.
was the 800 to 1,000 point fleet.
So now we need to decide whether we want to pile in to any of these, withdraw from any of these, or some combination of that.
So are these all separate combats at the moment?
Well, so there's 2 combats that need to happen. There's one that needs to
I'm gonna
happen
pop
here,
down, let them
and
know the
one
same
that
thing.
needs to happen here.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 2 combats that are currently happening. One is on the asteroid at M36, and one is another one at, it looks like M37. Yeah, M37. So there's 2 combats. You have to decide if you want to pull back from any of those, or if you pull back, you use one of your ammo counters. If you want to engage, because there are, you can't use another fleet that's engaged as support. So you can pull another one, and your sensors show that the enemy fleet on N38 is 3 to 4K. Sorry, that's 2 to 3K on N38.
Are we still doing that thing where if your allied fleets are still in one
If they are not
hex
in combat
away?
and in 1 hex away, they can come and help. But since there's 2 combats going on, we have to resolve that.
Okay, so I want one of the only fleet which is free to help the 800 to 1.3k fleet.
Okay, and you want to
So
fight
the
that
one,
battle?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go see what they're doing real quick, and then we'll probably all hop into one chat and do some dice rolling.
Draw. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. They have declared their moves.
Okay, so for our combat bonus moves, L2 is going to pile into combat with G2, and then L1 is going to burn supply to withdraw to the N38 hex.
Okay, so L2 and that
L2, I'll just
fleet
put
is
it
in the
on there.
north one. Yeah.
They're going to go there, and then these guys are going to burn 1 supply to withdraw to N38.
Okay, can you pull them over? Because I have like 4 stacks of tokens. I can't see which one.
So L1's fucking off.
Okay. Okay, so now we all need to pile into one chat and do some
No,
dice rolling.
yeah. So do we know
So
Now that we're in combat, do we get to know?
So yeah, their declared move is.
You got to resolve the rest of their
movements if they're going to pile in or not.
They did, yeah.
Well,
So they
okay.
piled. Yeah, so they're piling this fleet onto there.
Okay, so we've now resolved the movement over to combat. So yeah, let's all go into one channel. We go to the briefing room one.
Yep.
Yep.
So you decided to show your faces, OSP scum.
So just everyone go on mute there. Just figure out what your actual strength of your force is, and then you're going to roll that number of d6. So just get the number in your head there.
So am I doing it per K or?
Yeah, per 1,000 points. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we understand what OSP's plan actually is?
So yeah, for every 1,000, you roll 1d6 die.
Yeah. Okay.
So just roll that in the chat over there.
Is there a dice roller in Discord?
No, in Roll20 there is. So
The
Thomas and
faction
James should
leaders
be
are
rolling it.
rolling.
How
There
many
you go.
D6 are there, guys?
Do we want to message you or just say it?
It's fine to say it.
I've got 3, and then
Oh, that was 4, so 7.
yeah.
7? Okay. I don't know how to do this. Rolling.
It's /roll.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like /R and then space and then how the number and then like D and then the number of sides on the dice.
Do you want me to just do it for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so
I got 19 and James got 21.
So that's an overall win then for James, and then we need to figure out damage, right?
Yeah.
How many ships lost? How many do you want to go by thousands of points lost?
Well, why don't we just go by? Yeah, I mean we can do whatever we want, but it's a pretty relatively close result there. So why don't we just say,
Since there was
say like 500 points per points that we rolled over.
So yeah,
So like 1,500.
3 they lost 1,500. Yeah, that works. Because
Yeah.
that'll be
Again, we're just doing this just to simulate some kind of
abstract.
losses. Yep. Yeah.
And then you guys can roll. I don't know. How many you want to say you guys lost? Should we do this like? Because you might have taken some yourself, you know.
We're invincible, Smith. We talking about JK. So we did. We were what, 3 over? So we could roll 3 dice of a smaller amount or something. I don't know.
Or even just abstract and say you took 1/3 of it. Winners take 1/3 of the damage, so you guys took
Sure.
500.
That
Took
works.
500. Yep.
Good enough for now.
And then we'll just you can tell them to apply it to whatever fleets they want, as long as it totals up to 1,500. We'll take 500 out of one of ours.
Yep. So then, as it pertains to fleets, are they chased away then to a sector 1 away of their choice?
Yeah. So they get to withdraw to one of the adjoining ones back from the way they came, I guess. So.
Yes. So if they were previously in that hex, they can go back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So OSP, move your fleets, and then we'll go back to the beginning of the next phase. So you guys can go back to your chats then.
Okay.
Wait, I was gonna go to sleep now because it's 3 a.m.
Oh, that's right, Thomas. You're gonna go to bed.
Yeah, sorry.
I will take your point or your. I'll move your stuff.
I'll
Thanks.
probably stay for 30 more minutes, and that will be it.
Yeah, we should only be on for I'd say another 15 or so. Everyone take 5.
I'm sorry if the decisions weren't the best.
No, it's all good, man. It's literally just a play test.
Yeah, like near the end, I just wanted to like get to a point where it'd be fun for me to hop off, and this is it. So see you guys.
See
you guys.
Have a good one, man.
All right, back to faction chats. Okay, so Thomas is getting off.
Do we know if we?
Sorry, just a second there. Yeah, so we're going to take a 5-minute break, bathroom break. You're going to take over as their faction commander. One thing we need to do is we should set up supply lines at the start of this one for the captured asteroids.
Yes.
I'm assuming they captured one, or maybe they didn't. I don't know.
You did, if you guys
Yeah, we
won,
did,
right?
but they didn't. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll figure out the supply line. Something just cheap and easy for a small image. I can definitely do that. So yeah, I'll have them pick what losses they took, and then we'll go from there.
Okay,
for next
and we'll
turn.
be back in 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, or less. Yeah.
Okay, and then
So,
just for
yeah,
the
plan
purpose
out
of the
your
supply
moves,
line,
too.
if you get the supply lines underway. We'll start O37 to P38 and back to our red planet there.
O37. Okay, sounds good. Yep, I will work on that. Be right back.
All right, cool.
Actual like tabletop thing.
Okay, so you want to pick out which fleet you want to lose, or spread out those 1,500 points between those two fleets, and then let me know in a minute. I'll be right back. And then we will plan out once you do that, then plan out your next movements, and go from there.
Okay.
Be right back.
I don't know what fleets there were though.
Oh yeah, let me stream for you. I'm silly.
And I don't know what fleets were in what combat because we had like two different plans, and I don't know which one Thomas went with rolling dice.
Yes, since you guys are so close now, let me pass off the faction or OSP command. Yes, I'm going to pass that off to me as well. Actually, I'm going to do just kill Smith and see save changes. And I'm going to go rejoin as player and see what I can see.
Because I think.
Yep, there we go. All right, cool. Let me stream your screen real quick.
Is there a retreat mechanic? Because I think at one point one of our plans involved using the retreat mechanic, the other one didn't.
Yes, there's a retreat mechanic in battle, but give me 1 sec. I'll be right back, and it's burning 1 supply to use it to get 1 extra tile movement. But yeah, I'll be right back. But you can check out the map on my stream real quick.
I think we should just sack the scout ship and then take the rest of it into that other one. If it was the scout ship and that 4K fleet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what.
Because if there's 2 combats, oh no, I think we're resolving the first of the 2 combats. I think that's what it was.
Well, it looks like he rolled. What is that? 6, 7, 76. So that he might have gone with the second combat plan. Because 76 is what, 7,000 points?
I think they had 7.
Oh, I just saw Thomas rolled and then 76.
I don't know. We just ask them.
Seven doesn't quite add up though, because if we had a 4K fleet, no, so we had a 4K fleet, 2 4K fleets, and a 1K fleet. So if we put the 4K fleet and the 1K fleet in combat to the south, in what is that? N36, that would be 5. But if we went with the other plan involving the retreat, that would be 8K in M37. So I have no idea.
We just see when he comes back.
Yeah, it looks like he just rolled the same number of points. If that makes sense. Yeah, he just rolled I don't know, man. James rolled 7, and then he just rolled 7 too. I mean, to be fair, I'll give him credit for being 3 in the morning. Like, that's really late.
Yep.
All right, you guys good to submit? You guys, oh, I haven't submitted your moves yet. Okay.
What was
Well,
that?
we're still just discussing strategy here. We'll need another minute or two.
Cool. No worries. No worries. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I guess I hopped away from the screen. Her stream, sorry.
I don't know if you heard what we were saying, Killsmith.
I've been out of the chat, it looks like. Sorry, I didn't know. Yeah.
So me and Winslash heard kind of two different combat plans. And from what we can tell, if Thomas B was the one rolling, neither of them involved having 7,000 points in combat. So if you just want to, so I'm just trying to say, from what I can see on your screen, I don't know what he was rolling for.
He was also half asleep. So how many points total were your fleets? Actually, the two fleets.
We had 3 fleets. The one was 1K, other 2 were 4K.
No, so this one right here, this 3 to 5K one, it was not involved in combat because you declared that you were going to fight this combat when this ship was on here. And then you declared that this fleet, which was right here, was going to fight it out, and this one was going to reinforce it. So,
yes,
for all intents and purposes, there was going to be 2 separate battles. Because
okay.
if a fleet is in a battle, it can't reinforce. However, this enemy fleet jumped away when this force stayed in this sector, ready to battle. So it could not then reinforce because it was declared going to battle here.
Okay, so then it was
So it was
5K worth of points in the rolling, not
Not 7.
yeah, so it should be 5d6, I guess.
So yeah, he rolled 5d6 right there, and then James rolled for James. Thomas rolled here for James that because he didn't know how to do it. So Thomas rolled twice, but this one was for the Alliance. This one was for us. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Anyways, it's not a huge deal.
So they use retreat action.
So they use a retreat action, which means they burn one of their supply. So we know this ship, this fleet, only has 2 out of 3, or has 2 out of 3 ammo. This fleet also has 2 out of 3 ammo. And then for us, this fleet was in combat. So now we only have 2 out of 3 ammo for this one. And this one. This one is still at full strength because it was prepared to fight, but this one retreated. So it's still at full combat strength, full ammo. And we'll just say since we lost 1,500, do you want to split it 500 and 1,000 then?
I want to just have the scout fleet be destroyed and have the 500 taken off the 4K one. Okay. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Farragut?
Yeah, that scout fleet can go.
Okay, so that one we'll say it was destroyed, and then this one went from 4,000 to 3,500.
Correct.
Cool.
Does that require a change in our point estimate?
No, that's fine. We only lost 500, so that's still.
So, what's the point in having the spectrum if we just know to go in the middle?
So your actual fleet right here is what?
It's 3.5K now.
Okay. So you could say this is 3 to 5K, or you could say it is 1 to, or 2 to 4K, or you could say it's 1 to 3K, or 1 to 3.5K. because you're at 3.5, you have like essentially 1.5 to 2 points of wiggle room. So you could say it's 3.5 to 7K, right? No, 1.5 for 3.5 to 6K. Anyway, so it's plus or minus. You can go at the top end of the range or the low end of the range or the middle. Right now you're in the middle, or you were in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So mechanically, that would be like a way of like changing our formation in order to bluff like it's a bigger fleet than it is, or
smaller
hiding
fleet.
stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like for this one right here, we could say this is, because it's 4,000, right?
Yeah.
So you could say it's 4 to 6,000, or you could say it's 2 to 4,000 instead of being 3 to 5K. So like you could say, we could say 2K to 4K.
Yeah, let's do that. That's fun.
Yeah. Can we like also have it written down, I guess, in the name what the actual value is too? Because what if it was like 3.2K and like someone else came along and was like, so what is this one? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, so this, yeah, so they should be having that info.
Maybe we put that in green or something.
Yeah, that
you can't
works.
see that.
Yeah, we can do that. So we'll do, what's it actually? It's 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this one, because the enemy can't see this, so it's just for us. And this one is 3.5K.
Correct.
Cool. That's smart. I like that.
Filled up the little bubbles.
So we then,
So what we want to do is, I think, build a supply station in this asteroid belt.
yeah, so I would say instead I'd have our rear scout fleet. Did we move this one last turn? We did.
Last turn we haven't moved it yet for this turn.
So we need to build, but before we move, we need to build. So if we build, it takes up all the movement points of a fleet. So my thought is instead of doing that, they're capping this asteroid, which nets them 300 per turn. So we need to then, I think, try to go for these two. So what we can do is we can move one here, and then this one could go like L34, L36 to reinforce. And then
Why
have this
don't
one
we
go 1, 2, 3, and right there for reinforce. Because I think they're going to assume we're going to split even, and they're going to go for this one, I would bet, to cap that. So if we want to try to hold this sector, that's my bet. What do you guys think, though?
That's fine.
So if they're capping, is that a build movement?
No, because they're not building a supply station. They're capturing a POI. So that battle we fought last turn, when the combat was resolved under movement and combat resolution, they captured the POI.
And the POI is just the asteroids?
Yes, correct.
And on a meta level, if there was a battle in the asteroids, we'd probably pick something like Nexus or
Maw, if we're doing modded, yeah, we're gonna rotate through like a handful of asteroid ones so that people can't just get really good at one or two, and then we'll just do like a coin flip or a dice roll to see which exact map we use.
And then if it's just an open space, would we use either a nebula or just like an open?
Most likely, and then a very small percentage chance that there's asteroids floating out in the middle. So it would be like, 3 open maps and 1 asteroid map, and then we roll a dice or whatever, and whichever it lands on, that's when we do for an open space battle. So that way it's kind of, it keeps everyone on their toes, so they can't plan out, a fleet just for open space combat, and have it only hover around, stuff like that, so people can do less meta essentially.
Okay. So
Yeah.
capturing the asteroid was a point of interest, and so those have point values if we capture them.
Correct. So as the GM, I would say that these each have 300 per turn resource value, and then you would bill, and then once we capture it, so since there's no combat, we would move on to it this turn, and then next turn it would be conquered, because we would go through a simulated conquering phase this turn after our movement phase, if that makes sense. So it goes movement or construction, movement, combat, capture.
Okay, so if our 1,000 or 800 to 1,300K fleet moves to
Which is actually, we can write that in here.
L36, 4, right?
It's
Yeah, it's
1K.
actually 1,000.
1,000K. So we can still change this to, so we can go.
We can move it up to L36, right? And then it could reinforce both of those.
Let's change this 1 to 2K so they think it's more than it actually is. Because it's technically 1K, so we still have 1K. We can cheese it, you know. So we're moving this. So that's H38 to what?
To L36. Does that sound good, One/Man?
Yep.
Okay, and then we are doing M35 to L34.
Yeah.
And then we're doing M37 to L36. Right?
Yeah, and then we can move M37 back to the left one. To
so
M35.
M37 to L36.
No, H is it H38 to L36, and then.
Oh yes, I got that one. Yeah, H38 to L36 right there. Or do you want it to do K35 because it can go 4, right? So we can reinforce if needed.
Yeah, either way.
So
and then
here,
I was
right.
Yep. Yeah, and then we can take the other point of interest.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you want this one to go to L30. So you want to split even. 1, 2, 3. You want the small scout fleet to go to L38, and then these two to go there, so that either way, this strong fleet can reinforce either one. Yeah.
Or either that, or we use the small fleet to reinforce, and then use the strong fleets to take the points.
I like the strong one reinforcing.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that too.
So then we're going to go H38 to L38. H38 to L38. Okay, so those are all declared. I'm going to go see if they are all declared. Okay, let me go pop to them real quick and see if they're all done.
After half an hour after the tabletop games start, they can get the skirmishes sent out to them and they can go play them out. But essentially from the end of that tabletop turn till the start of the next one is the time where all those skirmishes need to be resolved, and we want to keep it so people can schedule their own, just in case there's different times that work for people, because it's not your job.
Basically,
and then, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, last turn when we got into combat, we'd pause the tabletop. We'd send out the combat to the people that were playing the fleets.
Yep.
And then we'd be like, okay, we're going to reconvene. If today's Tuesday, we'll be like, all right, we'll see you guys on tabletop on Thursday. The battles need to be done by Thursday. We'll see you then.
Yeah, and then people send in the results as soon as they're done. And if the faction commanders and fleet commanders say, okay, these are all resolved, here's what we're going to do, you could go and put your orders in for the next round. They might not get executed until the other side gets their shit together, but but basically you can put them in whenever you want. But then we'll have the next tabletop night be the official start of that, so that turn will be resolved. If it doesn't result in any skirmishes, then we'll play another turn until you get more skirmishes, and then we'll go back over to that part of it, just kind of back and forth.
If we manage to get, like, let's say we have 20 players, if we get all 20 players here, and this battle we just did, maybe took 30 minutes, if they are managed to knock that out can you continue the
Yeah,
tabletop?
absolutely. Like if there's enough people from the other faction that are ready to go back to the tabletop, I don't see why not. It's just a matter of as long as both sides are agree to it, there's no point in stopping it. I just want to have it set up so that there's a couple of start points for the turn, and it also encourages to get the skirmishes done before a drop dead part. We might have to look at putting some incentives to that too, like if you don't show up or get that resolved.
Done?
Yeah, we put them in the chat there.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure they're all done. I'm gonna go move them as GM then.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, so we might have to look at putting in some, incentives or perhaps a little bit of a penalty if a team, allows those 2 days to elapse without having resolved the skirmish. Maybe they forfeit or something, but hopefully we'll make it fun enough that people just want to get them done. And if we give 48 hours to complete the combats, it's pretty reasonable. I think.
Definitely should vet and we'll have to make sure we're vetting the availability of people who do commit to it.
Yeah, well, that's why we're going to set times that we're going to be doing this, and then basically you have to commit that you're able to at least attend most of the time in those periods. Obviously, if life comes up, then
with exceptions, yeah.
I think people generally are pretty good as long as you set those firm times. That's sort of an expectation from the start, in my experience. But
so GT.
Yeah, I just gotta make sure it's in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're stacking.
And then L1 to N34.
That's the one that the 3 to 4 is on the left there.
That one, okay. L1 to N34.
Yeah, 2 to the left. Oh no, down 1.
This one?
Yeah, except you moved the enemy there.
Oh, I did. Okay, sorry. Let me get that out of the way. That goes there. That goes there. Okay, that correct?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yep.
I don't know if you can see my you can't see my screen, but it's a giant ball of light, so I'm guessing.
Yeah,
you're good. It's a ball of light for us too. So
can we lower the brightness maybe of the?
Yes, actually, I'm going to change the dynamic light settings for night vision.
And then east, you did. I don't know if it's probably in the move orders, but like that damaged fleet's building, right?
Yeah. Well,
okay, cool.
Kill, you got that there. The G2 fleet is building a supply station on the asteroid there.
Oh my gosh, that helps so much. I'm just gonna do no tint. Oh my gosh, guys, this is a game.
Are you able to set that for us too?
Yep,
yeah, it looks the same on our end here.
Nothing's changed yet for us.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's glorious.
It looks so good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I can actually read the hex numbers now.
Right, the only problem is it does make it kind of hard for us to tell our fleets apart from the enemy.
Yeah, we need different.
Yeah, but we'll have different tokens.
Icons.
These are just placeholder tokens. So
yes. Okay, that's so much better.
But that's good for the play test. That's fine enough. Okay, that's amazing.
I'm gonna go do their moves real quick. Be right back.
A mean Mexican chip dip. It's like it's almost like nachos.
Hey, Q, I'm gonna leave in about 5 minutes because I gotta. It's pushing in my other schedules.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up here pretty soon. So, and then this one goes up here. So,
did you see what you wanted to see, Killsmith?
Yeah, so check this out. Let me go and switch to the player mode. So I was just doing all of their moves so you can see what they did as well. But I also changed it so it's easier to read. So you can see the screen here. So now it's not a blinding white light. So this is what it looks like. So they're holding. It looks like from our sensors, they move some of their fleets and combine them, and then we pull all of ours back. So right now, we're essentially doing better than they are because we are holding 2 of them now, and they're holding. We're not sure what they're doing, but they're holding. So I'm assuming they're building something.
Would it be possible for us in the next turn to start building a supply station down here?
Yes. I know. So Wind/Man is needs to go, and then I think one of them up in Alliance needs to go. So we might continue this early playtest another night if it needs to continue. Because we've actually already tested out a lot of the rules. We've had a lot of good notes so far. So let me talk to them, see if what they're doing, and then we might just do a little debrief real quick and call it for the night. So let me see though real quick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
G2. Yeah, so G2
Hello?
stays. Everything else.
All right, what? Just a second there, guys. What's up,
Sorry,
Kilt?
just pop it in. So Wind/Man is gonna go to bed. He's got to go to bed for work. I think we made we didn't do a ton of moon, but we already have a lot of things that we've talked about, and I was thinking we can probably pause for the night then.
Yeah, sure.
And then either come back at it if needed, like tomorrow, or we go with what we have, make the notes we have, make the docs that we need to make, and then start the real one. What do you guys think? Do we want to get all together in a debrief?
I think you need at least 1 or 2 more playtests to smooth this out.
Okay.
Maybe
So
not 1 or 2 more playtests. Maybe 1 more. Just to play the updated like rules or whatever. Because whatever you talked about, whatever you're gonna fix, quickly run through whatever you fixed another time, and then send it on.
And like I said, 1 or 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
2 if the first one brings. 2 if the next one brings up a lot more stuff.
Well,
I'm gonna
let's.
drag
yeah,
them up to the chat here.
Yeah, sounds good.
I just wanted to know if I would have won that battle. I think we would have.
All right,
Well-
everyone's here.
We'll find out in the next session.
So yeah,
Dragon Ball Z.
we have some good stuff to work on. We need some more. We need to make some docs, set some hard rules for points, POIs, income, stuff like that. So we got some work to do on the back end. But overall, I think it went smoother than I was anticipating. It was pretty bumpy at times, but I think we chugged through it. Yeah, we had some good comments from everyone. So yeah, anything, we'll just go down, starting with James, then Farragut, then Gerds, then Strategist, then Windslash. Thoughts, impressions, if you guys still think that this is worth it, is it fun, etc., etc.
You go ahead first, Farragut.
I don't know. I think I was given the wrong impression. Me and Wind/Man were trying to like meta up and figure out how to colonize planets in our fleet description.
Yeah, that was we just didn't get too clear on the focus of this particular playtest. So that's on us. Sorry.
So we just built like high speed, low point scout fleets, and we're initially trying to send them out in all directions. And then it got redirected by Killsmith to just go and meet yours and test out some combat stuff. But I thought it was interesting seeing, the Fog of War. So I was interested to see the Fog of War and to see what information we might or might not know when they're in sensor range.
Neat. Awesome. Speaking of sensor range, this is a temporary thing, but just for this map, I made anything within 2 tiles of the sun is lit up by bright light. So it's kind of like if you get too close to the sun, your radar signature is broadcast to the entire sector. So you can be seen anywhere within 2 tiles of the sun. This was kind of a feature just I added on the fly. I didn't know if we'd be testing it outside or not, but I don't know if you guys like that, don't like that. Just while we're talking about sensors.
I don't mind it. I don't think it will come into as much play as you may think it would, but it's fine. It's an interesting mechanic.
It's really making you guys avoid the center, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it made us avoid the center, which might be a good thing since we didn't bum rush the other person directly.
Yeah, I think it adds on a meta level. I think it adds push to not announce that you're just rushing straight across.
I think you should keep it. It was interesting. I added a little bit of dynamic to the map.
Yeah, definitely keep that mechanic of like a sun or other things having a public vision, whether it's a sun or say like a neutral station.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's good to have a few of these across the map to give a little bit of a sensor picture there, but also some tripwires. So what I would say is that, like, you can say for the purpose of this one, there's a a neutral study of going on of the solar arrays. So they have some kind of sensor array, and you'd have to actually put one on the map there that's capturable. That at the start of the game, both sides can see it. But maybe you can make it something that one of the sides can go in and capture, and then the other ones can see it. Obviously, if it goes dark, the other team knows that their opponents went and grabbed it. So if we have like a few of these across the neutral zone, it might be a good way to give something to rush towards, but also start letting the other side know maybe where their forces are heading for.
That's a really good idea.
And it would provide keeping that would also provide a greater buff to faster scout fleets, because they would more easily be able to move across the map, because they wouldn't need to necessarily spend as much time skirting around, because they could kind of cut through some of those passive zones quickly without getting spotted.
They'd still need to have the firepower to fight the defense fleet, though.
Yeah, they would, but
that comes back into trade-offs for like how you build
exactly.
Yep.
It gets into trade-offs, but the whole thing is their win would be that they could skirt around these neutral zones more easily without being spotted.
Yep.
I think not right now, but because I think we should keep it more simple. But I like the idea of having negatives to environmental things, like say ion zones, where say if you get into engagement in it, like no one can have radar for the first 5 minutes or something like that, and then it goes away, or you may have a message, oh, it's coming back or something.
I like that.
Interesting, but definitely a later thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that dynamic option. You should throw that in the possible ideas so we have that written down. Anyway, so Farragut, anything else? Sorry, I interrupted you.
I think it's interesting. I wonder if there might be, I don't know. I wonder if there might be some thought to building order.
What do you mean by that?
I don't really know yet. I was just part of our plan was to start building up supply stations in that region of space. So I'm just starting to think about like what it would take, because it seems like it would take a turn to move and then another turn to build, and then I don't know if there was a second turn after that to like establish it or not.
Oh, I see. So just more clarity on how construction works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't
that's
originally
one of the
built in, but yeah.
No, that's one of the things that I just left for somebody else to work on. I didn't deal with that at all. Other than to say that we probably need something to model supply stations.
All I remember us discussing in the Alliance channel is that the main thing we said is like if you build, you can't move after that. That was the only thing I think we thought about for this playtest.
Yeah, because if your ships are building, they can't run away with whatever you're building the station with.
For sure. So I think what we need here is just somebody needs to take an action point to figure out just some basic build rules, like how long it takes to build a station, how much it costs, just those kind of things. It doesn't have to be very complex. Probably a paragraph that covers all that stuff is as much as we'd be looking for. But if anyone wants to toss their hat in the ring, I'd appreciate it.
I'll do it tonight.
Yep. So just take a pass at it and then throw it up for discussion in the campaign devs chat, and we'll take a look. Thank you for volunteering. So I guess back over to you, Gerds, there. I think if Farragut gets done with his points.
Okay. Honestly, I had a lot of fun, even though if we were kind of excluded from some of the mechanics. East, steered us pretty clear what we were supposed to do. We had to go for the asteroid fields. We knew we were going to be testing out certain mechanics, stuff like that. So we knew what we were going to do. At very first I was like, hey, I want to go capture the station. He's like, hey, maybe another time. We're here for a certain thing. So there's some mechanics I didn't get to test out. You guys did though, fighting pirates or whatever they're called. So I had fun. The mechanics were fun, a little bit bumpy, but that's mostly just because we don't really quite know what we're doing. We keep having to reference, the rule book. So the more we play it, the smoother it'll get. Yeah. I don't know. It felt pretty smooth, dynamic. I liked the whole sensor thing. I liked, not knowing exactly what was in their fleets. Kind of guessworking if they boosted their signature or decreased it, kind of, I don't know. I just had fun.
Awesome. Last strategist.
Gerd said a lot of good stuff there. Only thing I'd say I want to add is, and I don't know how easy this would be to do, but adding sensor diversity to fleets will be something we should consider. So allowing certain fleets to have higher sensor. I don't know if there's anything that's been discussed in that area yet, but I definitely feel at times it's possible the sensor range felt a little short. But other than that, that's the only thing I got so far.
So on that one, there's a couple of notes in the rules doc where I kind of mentioned that. So what I wanted to do for the purpose of the playtest was to have some basic version of sensors, i.e., we just picked range 3 for planets or stations and range 2 for all fleets. But I agree with you. I think it's not a lot more complex to give the same kind of movement diversity that we've built in to sensors. Now, how we want to do that, that's a bigger question. And maybe we can take a page from Gerds here if you want to just take a stab at it, put together, 20 lines or less on a way that it might work. We can consider it in campaign devs and add it in because I think it's a pretty simple thing to add. And I agree. I'd like to bring that diversity of fleet builds that we're trying to sponsor with the different movement speeds to sensors as well.
Mhm.
So if you can put something together that's like keeps about as complex as the movement diversity is, and present it to the campaign devs channel, I think it's something pretty easy for us to put in as like a first new module.
Yeah, I'll see if I can throw in something tomorrow on that. I got work in the morning, but I'll throw something tomorrow night together.
Yeah, don't kill yourself. Just in the
Yeah.
next like few days, just throw something together. And
But
again, you don't
one
have to
last thing, yeah, my one last thing while I got you here is what I'm thinking. Base thought is it's based off of the radars. Like it's just like how we're basing it off of fleet speeds, off of the thrusters and the speeds of the ships, basing it off of spyglass frontline parallax type dealio.
Yep, that sounds like a good one. So throw it together and we'll take a read.
Alrighty.
Is there rules? I Thomas shared turn sequence, the world building, and the player org. If there's a rules document, I could send in some thoughts because I was thinking about the same thing, honestly.
Yeah, so the turn order one, it's turn order plus whatever rules to get through the basic execution of that turn order. We'll probably actually turn that document into our sort of rules Bible. So if you're looking to present new rules, I just recommend make a separate thing. But I would imagine that before we go on to the full player run of this, we'll take all of those rules and compile it into one document, probably add it into that one that I put together already.
Okay.
Can I ask, as just a, I guess I would be called a fleet commander or whatever, as somebody underneath the faction commander, were East and you, Smith, were you guys tallying the faction's like economy in the background that we were unaware of?
Thomas was a little bit, just on a dock, I think, but it wasn't anything big for this playtest.
Yeah, and I was keeping track of how many turns. Then if it came to us needing to buy things, I was going to ask what our economy was. But yeah, the faction commander should be the one who is doing that for their own faction, and the GM should be keeping track of the two as well, sort of a backstop.
Yeah, it's just maybe something we need to practice before we throw this into a full campaign. Is our economy, reinforcements, supply lines, stuff like that. Which I think we were about to get to, but it's late, so we had to pause.
Yeah, I feel like for that we just need to make a like yet again there just needs to be a spreadsheet for that.
Yeah, we have one for the GM. If you guys were in the early stream, you saw it. I just actually compiled all of our docs into a folder. And if you're a campaign dev, I just posted the Google Drive link to that folder. So you can view all the docs we have so far. And then if you have more that you make, submit it in that channel, and then we can upload it to that that folder. And then again, like
Awesome.
James said, we'll make a master list, and like I'm gonna go through and start making like a construction list of like, you know, how much things cost, what stuff is per turn, and then make a master list for faction commanders and GMs, or master doc for each of those guys. So Slash Man the Chew, yeah.
So, what's to stop a scout ship that's only purpose is to colonize from ever not having to do combat? Because it's going to be 4 hexes. It's going to use all 3 of its escapes anytime something else would catch it.
So
That's a good point.
The biggest thing that we had talked about before was more of a meta thing where the minimum players you can have in a fleet is 2. So you need to have a minimum of 2 players, and if they both fill that with, you know, corvettes going 42 meters per second, so 4 tiles, then you're essentially, you have to find 2 players that are willing to do that. Same as you would, you know, in real life if, you know, someone was looking for, you know, for fun, and you said, okay, I need Girds and Farragut. Your goal in the entire campaign is to not have combat and avoid this. They're going to be like, but I want to fight, man. So it's balancing out both the meta and the real life, or sorry, and the campaign tabletop. But also, like I said, they run out of supply too. So, James, anything else?
Well, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying they're doing. So you got 2 players running around with corvettes. What are they accomplishing?
Massive amounts of points generation for the team.
Okay, so first of all, the thing we didn't put on this is that there's actually for any of the neutral areas, there's going to be like capture requirements or garrisons on them. So this isn't in here. We just wanted to get the players fighting the players, but all of the neutral places are going to be owned when we come in. Basically, like you can imagine the independent planets have it, so you have to fight to control them in the first place. So a single corvette, you know, a task group running around capping everything is not viable.
You still have to win the battle in Nebulous.
Yeah. Now you might be able to go and cap 1, you know, because you're gonna be fighting against maybe like starter fleet is what the independent garrisons will be made up of, and if you have a good player or good 2 players that go against a task force Birch or whatever, they could probably win, but there's a chance they'll get beat up. They'll use a supply to do so. They need to eventually get back to supply. So we've thought about that, and we'll make it so you can't just run around and just grab everything up with a quick fleet in the start. You'll have to actually make some decisions and put some risk into it. But yeah, so we don't have garrisons on the one we're doing right now because we wanted to actually get the players fighting the players, not the players fighting the NPCs.
Yeah.
Also, do you guys think 3 action tokens is too much? Because I feel it is. I think 2 is what it should be.
I think it felt like a lot for what we just did, only because we didn't do a lot. It was kind of slow paced, and we were trying to figure shit out. But if you think through how it's gonna go, if we really want to encourage player combat, so I feel like 3 is a good balance because of that.
I feel like 3 is good too because it gives, you know, a fleet the option to disengage and then re-engage. If you only have 2, once they disengage, you're pretty much done. I mean, you still do have 1 extra token, but I feel like 3 gives you just that 1 extra option.
Because if you're only doing 2 tokens, I feel like most people are going to be a lot more hesitant to actually get into straight up combat, and it's going to discourage combat greatly. Having 3 kind of gives you that, like, okay, I'm at 3 tokens. I feel like I can go and do shit.
They also, like they said before, you can retreat using one of those, but you can also burn one of those to move an extra tile space. So it gives you a wide variety of options of, like I said, it's encouraging combat at its prime core, but also it gives you more tactical options for retreating and moving faster. So that's what we do. What we ended up on 3. But if in further playtest we find that's too much, I'm okay to lower it as well, or increase it if we find it's not enough. I'm open to change.
Okay.
I just feel we don't want to be too reliant on keeping our if we only had like 1 or 2, we'd have to build supply hubs every couple tiles just to move the fleet. Or if we have too much, you won't be